And a happy Monday morning to you. No, it should be working. I think there's a lot of silence, but double check the audio stream if you can.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Eric now. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Wil Fraser with you here on the EST Hangout.
What is happening?
Well, what happened was I forgot to click the stream start a little sooner. Then I needed to go to the washroom. You weren't here in time to help, turn the lights on or anything like that because, you showed up at 9:01 for a 9 o'clock show. So that's what happened there, Tommy.
This is the hangout.
Those are the rules.
You hang out when you get here.
The guy who wears a ball cap and glasses has to do the work. Guy who looks like that gets to show up when he wants to.
I don't always wear the ball cap now. I will just say that.
Shake and bake phrase.
So sorry to all those on the audio stream. I thought I had everything ready to go, and you had a lot more silence than I expected. But this is the Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar, available in both original and variety 12 packs. A great pack size for entertaining and hanging out with friends. Would you like a Clamato?
Right now?
Yeah, we have to ask our guests.
I'll pass.
Lieutenant Eric, whenever he's on, he absolutely opens one at 9
I don't break my fast until later in the day, so sorry.
Is that considered part of that?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's like 300 calories.
But what are you drinking right now?
Black coffee.
So what's the difference?
There's no
just
calories
the full
in black
calories.
coffee.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's just the calorie part.
Just the calorie.
Oh,
part.
okay.
Yeah.
Tommy, would you like one?
No, thank you. I'll save them for the guests.
Well, we're allowed to have them too.
Yeah, I know.
Just making
I'm
sure.
enjoying my Americano, and I'm just happy to be here. But thank you for offering, Matthew. I appreciate that.
Can't just call it coffee. That is.
It's Americano.
Well, he didn't have a coffee; he had an Americano.
It's coffee.
Yeah, it's coffee, but it sounds better when you go.
It's pretentious. That's
Excuse
what
me,
it is.
sir. Would you like a coffee? I'd like an Americano, please.
Oh my goodness.
A little milk, a little sugar. Thank you very much. Good morning. Hello. Everything is right in the world. The Oilers
last time I was on, it was
gloom and doom.
Gloom and doom.
Oh,
And
it's still not great.
There's still the thunderclouds are still off in the distance.
Yeah.
but
Sun came out.
the
yesterday.
sun came out. That looked like the old Oilers, didn't it?
The last two
Yes.
games did.
Yeah.
The last two games look like they're back.
like shutout Oilers is rare. That doesn't look like any
Yeah.
Oilers. But the Oilers team that doesn't collapse when the other team scores.
It took the lead a couple times.
Just knows that, wait a minute, we have Connor McDavid, we have Leon Draisaitl, we know how to win hockey games. That was last year's Oilers team that even though their goaltender might give up a soft first goal, they just kept at it. So wonder where it's been all year, but it was nice to see last night.
Yeah.
Connor looked like Connor, or he's looking like Connor again.
Yeah.
That's
And
the thing.
he's been creeping towards that.
Which is always my argument when people are like, they need more depth scoring. And it's like, if you have Connor McDavid, you don't need much more than Connor McDavid playing like Connor McDavid.
Correct.
Well, I was talking with Bruce Arthur. We were exchanging some messages last week because he was writing a little piece on the Oilers, and he was just trying to figure out some stuff about what's happening to the Oilers. It's just it's a kind of if Connor and Leon get going, where's this team going to be? And it's they'll be back to being
just
pretty
fine.
good, just fine. And it's not to say there's all the blame for the issues go to Connor and Leon. They do deserve a little criticism for where the Oilers
They deserve
were
a
to
lot
start.
of criticism.
There was a lot of other blame, but also at the same time, it's just one of those. Once they get going to the level that we know that they could produce at, Connor's already back into top 15 of scoring in the National
when
Hockey
you have two
Snap of the
guys
finger.
that have both won MVPs in the last 5 years,
and Arts.
and they're not playing like their team's best player,
Right.
they're the reason that your team is doing poorly. Now, there's other things, but come on, man, score goals. It's the easiest stat to keep track of.
Tomorrow's the biggest test, though. It's easy to sit here right now and look, hey, it looks like they're back. It looks like they're trending in that right way. But now they get a real team. Now they get that test. They get the division-leading Golden Knights coming to town, the defending champs, the team that knocked you out of last year, the team that some people narrative, maybe they ruined the Oilers a little bit going into this season. Now you get them. And we'll see, how do you match up against them? They come out tomorrow. And look, I'm not going to say they have to win that hockey game.
Yeah.
You come out with a strong 60-minute performance.
They have to win that hockey game.
They have to win every hockey game
Yeah.
for the
They have to
foreseeable
but
future.
I think thinking that they're back though, because Cass and I were
see what
talking
you're
about
saying.
it on the post game yesterday. Even they need to show produce that 60-minute type game for about 5-6 straight games, and they don't. Not every game has to be a win. I think the majority do.
Yeah.
But if tomorrow they go out, they lose a 3-2 hockey game, but we sit there and go, you want to know something? Golden Knights are a really good hockey team, and they just bested the Oilers. I think people are going to go, okay, this team, though, is turning. You then got to go beat the Jets. You then
Yeah.
got to go win your other hockey games after.
I appreciate your optimism about it.
I'll be optimistic.
I'm far more sort of black and white about it.
Yeah, they lose.
Where it's like they lose, and all of a sudden they could be in another death spiral for 3 games or what have you. So and it's not even so much the Golden Knights, it's the combination of Golden Knights and the officials for tomorrow night. That if they go out there and the Golden Knights get away with the stuff that the Golden Knights get away with against the Oilers, and the Oilers start looking around, complaining about the officiating as much as they're complaining about the Golden Knights, that's when we'll know that there's a problem. Whereas if they just keep their head down, don't let the officiating get underneath their skin, that will be a good sign for this team.
To the playoffs last year, Pietrangelo, he deserved more, obviously.
Sure.
But the Oilers let that creep into their game in the following games, and they focused on, we got to get retribution on him.
Right.
And we're focused on him physically.
Yeah.
As opposed to our retribution should be on the scoreboard. We're going to show you that way. They
absolutely
didn't allow
right.
that. And the Golden Knights are perfect, and they took over from there.
And Nick Higgs scored a goal too.
Yeah.
Remember yeah, anyway. The Oilers, if they let the officials get to them, that's not good because they do have a reputation for being whiny. So
Yeah, but they should be whiny, right? When you have the best players in the league on your team, like Crosby was labeled a whiner while winning Stanley Cups.
Correct.
Like Gretzky was labeled a whiner while winning Stanley Cups.
Tom Brady was a whiner.
Right, exactly. The best players get labeled whiners because the camera's on them at all times, and so you see the whining. And also because they should be able to whine. Right? And I've always had arguments. This goes back to the days of Jordan as a Bulls fan, and people would be upset because they'd sit there and they'd be like, no one else is allowed to talk to an official that way.
Right.
And it would be like, yeah, because no one else is Michael Jordan. Like,
yeah. For the record, it is opposition players who have dubbed the Oilers whiners, by the way. Yeah. Just saying.
Which is
I'm all for whining.
I understand.
For the best, but I'm all
Which
for
is
if you're
when
the top
Wheel
player,
gets
you,
agreed,
we
right?
try
Because
to
when you're
absolutely
watching a guy score 160 points,
Right.
you're
I get that.
kind of grabbing for. Well,
Yeah.
he's not lazy. He's not like he's not.
He just
awful.
complains a lot. Yeah.
I'm all if you could get an extra penalty or two throughout the course of a season because you whined.
Right.
I'm all for it. I know it's not the quote unquote honorable way. I don't care. What matters most is the wins and losses.
We called the Canucks with the Sedins whiners for years.
True.
And they had a 100-point season after 100-point season after 100-point season. I think it kind of goes hand in hand. There's really no such thing as the 100-point player who's not looked at by his 50-point peers as a whiner.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
They're back.
They're back.
Well,
Kind of.
Tomorrow's the big game.
Tomorrow
Like it
is
really
the
is.
big game.
What's the next big game?
It's
And the next big game will be after that. And
yes and no because like if they get through tomorrow, it's the Jets after. It's not like this is the Golden Knights. Like there is something about it's
True.
the team that knocked you out last year. It's
But
the
it's not
champs.
like the Jets
it's the vision.
haven't been
They're
known to
having a
have
good
their
team
number,
this year,
right?
Yeah,
Like-
this is. You're coming in after 2 really good games. Like there's just a lot that it's like, okay, now this is the real litmus test. All right, can we sit there and really say the Oilers are back, or are we going to sit here and be like, well, they're going to still be 500 hockey or something? They still can't beat those top teams.
however, you can't have a statement win over a Vegas and then lose to a Jets, right? Like we just saw that last night with the Raptors, right? The Raptors had a huge win against DeMar DeRozan and the Bulls, and then last night go and pull a stinker against a team they should be even with in the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Did you see DeRozan complaining about that late shot?
He's a whiner.
Like, who was it? OG had shot the late 3,
Yeah.
and he was all upset. He's like, you just let the clock run down. And this is the same guy who allowed his daughter to just scream at the top of her lungs for an entire game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, it's one or the other, dude. Either you're good with gamesmanship, and if OG wants to shoot that late 3, he shoots that late 3, or earlier, you need to go to your daughter in that game and be like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, but maybe don't scream the whole time.
That
Like,
was crazy.
I didn't like that from DeMar. Like, just deal with it. It's also, if you don't want to be scored a late 3 on,
DeMar DeRozan is
don't
not
give up the late 3.
He's not the most likable NBA
No?
player.
Why do you say that?
There is an attitude to him that I respect, but is not charismatic. He is not a charismatic individual, both in the way that he plays basketball and the way that he deals with just about everybody out there. He is a leader in a way. Like, if I was a teammate of his, I would follow his lead because he's an absolute workaholic as far as his game is concerned. But there is a certain prickliness to him that is not the nicest to be around.
Have you been following this in-season tournament?
Barely. Just enough to know that there is one and that they are trying to build something. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that about the NBA, that they have realized that their league will only be successful if they keep trying new things.
The NBA was the first to throw out the in-season tournament, even just as an idea in North America the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I've backed it 1260 days. I advocated for it, and I think all the leagues need to do it. I think the NBA is doing it wrong, though, having it count for regular season games. That's where it needs to change.
You think so?
Because this is a soccer thing you are taking.
Yeah.
And the argument I would have for the soccer is you have a tournament that is secondary to the main goal of the season, which is a title. And that second championship or cup or whatever you want to call it, it's there for whoever wants to go for it. So if it's a year where a team's on the playoff bubble, let's say the Portland Trailblazers or something.
Yeah.
You're not winning the NBA title. But maybe you can go win this. And if you're a team that's a championship team, let's a contender, maybe like the Lakers, who go, we need AD and LeBron to be healthy. We want to rest them throughout the year. These are the games you rest them in. And because we don't care if we get knocked out of the cup, whatever, we're focused on Larry O'Brien trophy. And they don't intersect.
Yeah.
And also when that you could have two separate TV deals because you could sell a new national TV deal for the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
And it becomes two different things you're playing for. To have them combined still where this matters for both the regular season but also this in-season tournament, I think it's a little convoluted. And it's also, I think it defeats the purpose of what you should want with an in-season tournament, which is partly to balance load management.
I think that's partly because of the nature of the contracts in North America, right?
Yeah.
If you're an NBA player or an NHL player or any of the big four, your contract is technically with the league, right? You are property of a team, but your contract
it's registered with the
is
league,
registered
central
with
scouting
the league.
or whatever, central registration.
Whereas over in Europe, when you're talking about football, it is your contract is a personal services contract to the teams and organizations that basically, quote unquote, own the players, right? And so you're able to tell those players they play in whatever they need to play in, whereas your contract in North America is for 82 regular season games and
but
whatever
you
happens.
But you still could have that, and but now it's because we've seen a lot of load management, even though it's actually studies are now coming out that it's not helpful. It hasn't been that helpful, except for Kawhi Leonard was a unique case, and that it's actually not helping other guys. But it's one. You could still do if you want load management, you're a top team, do it in the in-season tournament. Doesn't matter. You're not even going for it. We could balance that out, and then it's not a regular season thing. I think that we will get there one day with the NBA. But right now, they put it out there pretty quickly this year because it was a CBA thing that was happened over the summer or just in the spring last year.
Yeah.
They're rushing this out there, so they don't have time to really fine-tune it. But I think we will get to the point where it is like soccer. And I know people don't want soccer in North America and stuff. There are some good things of soccer, like business-wise, that you could bring here. Well, it's football. I'm very glad he said football there. But there's things from soccer that you could bring here business-wise that do make sense. And I think the in-season is one of those. Well, and to anyone that thinks no one cares, no one's going to care, when a team ultimately wins the fans are going to be pretty happy. They won.
Yeah, that's true.
The true genius of European football is
Matthew's going to say, I'll say thank you for him this time.
Is that there is a tiering system, and for the most part, teams don't move.
Right.
Teams are owned by the communities that they are in. Even though they might have owners, it's really they just hold it in trust for whatever community that they're in. And if they're good enough, they play in top tiers, and if they're not good enough, they get relegated down. Whereas in North America, it's a completely different system. And I don't know how you change that.
Well, you don't, because that'll never fly in North America.
But I sure wish it could, because the idea of
promotion relegation is, I think, fantastic.
Not only that, but when you are a lower tier team, when you're a San Jose Sharks and you are rebuilding your program, there is still stuff to play for because you are positioned in with all the other lower tier teams instead of getting your head kicked in 4 out of every 5 nights.
But that's where I think the in-season tournament helps change that, because the Sharks could then focus their season on this tournament. Whereas the other
but they
teams,
still have to play the regular season where they're getting their head kicked
absolutely,
in.
but that's what they do in. Well, like you still have your bad teams in like the Premier League. You're still gonna have your bottom teams in that of the 20.
Sure.
That are going to get eventually relegated, and they're not going to play well, and they're not going to go up against Liverpool and have a great time.
Yeah.
But it's also you have this tournament where it's a chance to go win it. It's the FA Cup. You have a chance to maybe go do something and maybe go win it. Whereas the big teams, the really good teams, might sit there and be like, we're going to go win both this year.
Yeah.
We're going to go do it. But some teams are going to be like, we don't care about this in-season tournament unless we get far. We're going to play some younger players. We're going to balance this out and focus and rest our bigger guys a little more for the cup, because we want the Stanley Cup, and that's what we're playing for. And there are going to have to be some CBA changes, and then there's going to have to be some maneuver, because you'd want to be able to call people up from the minors and send them down a little easier with the cap. But I think within the next 20 years, it'll be a full-on soccer type cups that we'll see both in the NBA and the NHL. I'm all for it.
I would hope so.
The NHL will only do it once it's successful in the NBA.
Yeah.
Once they see the success in the NBA, there'll be the fans going, why don't we have this? And then it'll be added.
The days of excluding the rest of the world from your professional sports need to come to an end. That's the biggest thing for me. Like if I always find it funny, because we as Canadians, we worship hockey, and we are such weirdos to the rest of the world because no one else either experiences hockey at the level that we experience at or cares about it at the level
Finns
that we
do. I can vouch for that. I've been there. I've seen it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Except how much better would it be if there was a true chance for a Helsinki club to be competing for the top prize, as you have in Europe, in European soccer.
Well, the issue though is in like European soccer, there's 4 leagues that are comparable.
Yeah.
They could all compete. They could all have someone that wins the Champions League any given year. In hockey, that's not there.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're the NHL, I'm not at all putting my cup champion out there for this, because I don't win anything.
No.
If the Golden Knights played, Helsinki or whatever, and they win, we all sit there like, of course they won. They better have won. They're the NHL. But if you lose, all of a sudden it's what's wrong with the NHL?
Yeah.
And you don't want that if you're the NHL.
Yeah, but you do, because all of a sudden you have way more international eyes on your product, right? I think about the amount of people that watch Spanish football. Right? Like that will tune in on a Saturday morning to watch Juventus be playing.
That's Italy.
Oh, pardon me. You're right.
Let's get there.
And Italian soccer as well. Right?
Wait, Spanish league, Real Madrid.
Calcio
Real
Italia.
Madrid. Yeah.
Watch Alphonso Davies might be a Real Madrid player as of next year.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing that
and
out there.
Bundesliga as well. Like think of the amount of people in this city that spend their time and money watching that. And that's what you want to do.
Eric's part of a Liverpool supporters group.
Like
here in an Edmonton chapter of it.
And that's what you want to be doing. Like the fact that I would assume there are people in Germany that are keeping up on Leon Draisaitl and the Edmonton Oilers, but it's not nearly at the same level because they don't have a local club that they also love just as much.
How dare you knock the Cologne Sharks?
Are they the Sharks?
Yeah.
At least you know. They might not even know. Actually, Germany's turning into a decent hockey country.
It is.
They're slowly developing some players, and they're slowly creeping up there. Like,
absolutely.
I don't even think it's slow anymore. I think the next World Championships is going to be surprising.
World Championships or World Cup type thing?
Either or.
Well, Germany, according to this next format for the World Cup, Germany wouldn't even be in.
Well, because there's only 4 countries.
Yeah, it's like Canada, U.S.,
Sweden, Finland,
something like that. Yeah,
because they're trying to bridge the gap between Olympics to. Because do you remember when that was supposed to be? They're projecting that was to be played
2025.
Okay, so then it was to get to the Olympics in 26 and then build a World Cup after.
Yeah,
I think that was the plan.
It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. That's what it is.
You just got to at some point hunker down, start a World Cup of hockey again, and stay consistent with it.
Yeah.
Because then after a while, and it's going to take a long time to do it, but at some point we'll care more about the World Cup of hockey than Olympic hockey.
You could,
but to do that, to get to that point, you actually have to play it consistently. Like imagine if the Canada Cup kept playing and they didn't get rid of it.
It was
We
every
would-
3 years, right?
Yeah,
Right,
but-
but we would have never been clamoring for hockey to get the NHLers to get back to the
but who
Olympics because we
organized
would have
the
had
Canada
that.
Cup?
Canada.
I don't know.
Canada.
Alan Eagleson.
Was it?
Yeah.
Alan Eagleson, yes, the NHL would have a say, but it was not an NHL-led product.
Correct.
Right? And I think that's probably the biggest problem right now is Gary's had 30 years to get this right, and he hasn't been able to do it. And so it is time to take it out of Gary's hands. And either the International Ice Hockey Federation or somebody, or the NHLPA, or
But you need the
somebody-
owners. You need the owners to jump on board because you can't get these players without the owners.
Yeah. And the IIHF doesn't really have anything to do with the World Cup of Hockey.
But what he's saying is they should do
Yeah.
it.
No, but somebody needs to step
they
up.
Right.
what's
But they have the
stopping-
World
what's
Championship.
stopping them
That's
from saying the World
direct
Cup of Hockey?
competition to the World Championship.
But what's
And that's-
stopping them to maybe go, how about we get rid of this World Hockey or move this World Hockey Championship to the summer?
But the World
Or
Hockey
something.
Championship is it's a staple
No.
in the IIHF. Like
Absolutely.
it is.
But
the
if you
viewership's
move it
huge.
to get
Yeah,
it
yeah.
outside the NHL playoffs and say we're going to build a best on best tournament,
That would be interesting.
taking it away from Gary's hands.
Yeah.
But again, you would then, I think, just insurance wise and stuff, you need the NHL
Well, you
to
need
approve
somebody
it,
to
You're not
cut
gonna
and
a
it's
get the
not going to
players.
happen.
No, you
Players
just
aren't
need
gonna do
somebody
it
to
either.
cut a check, right? And so if you go to the NHL and say it's organized and you get 50% of the television profits or whatever you want to organize, there has to be some sort of way because it has been done before, right? It's not that it's never been done before. It was done before. It was done better before. The Canada Cup was superior to any of the World Cup of hockeys.
That first World Cup was awesome.
04?
In 96.
You mean when the United States won?
96.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I mean, I'm not saying the result was awesome, but just the level of
He
competition.
probably loved the
It-
98 Olympics as
Yeah,
well.
it was very good for the growth of hockey. That's for sure.
Yeah. Was
to
it?
have Team USA win, and in the manner that they did.
That was a crazy tournament.
Tony Amonte, Jeremy Roenick.
Yeah.
That was a good American
Yeah,
squad.
it was.
Yeah.
Bill Guerin, Mike Modano, Dougie Wade.
Yeah. No, it was a
Mike
solid,
Richter in goal.
When you look back on that roster, it's not a mystery
No.
why they won. They were as good as the Canadian
And it was a
club.
battle against Canada.
Yep.
Like a battle.
Yeah, but who won 02 and 10?
Canada, the right team.
Deal with it, America.
Well, they finally got serious about putting together a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then 06, it was funny.
Instead of taking guys that had put in the years and rewarding them, they then switched to.
It's been an issue with the World Junior sometimes too.
Absolutely.
It's just grab all the stars, but it's like you're asking a star that's used to playing top center
To be a
fourth liner,
muck it
limited minutes, mucking it up, and it's like, well, maybe there are certain players that have to be there no matter what, but maybe you got to build out a more team.
Sure.
They
have
kind of
them
tried
ready.
that in 98 when they took Rob Zamner. Remember Rob Zamner?
Well, it's
that Red Deer?
like Team Canada
He was playing for
World
Tampa.
Juniors
No,
had their
This is the
had their
98
best
Olympic
years
team.
when
Oh,
you had the
for the
same
Olympics.
coach year after year after year.
Yeah,
when
but they
you
changed
went
over.
and grabbed a Sutter and said, "Okay, you're in charge."
Don Hay.
Don Hay,
Sutter was so good in his first stint. Those back-to-back years didn't lose a game.
yeah. I mean,
So
so
strong.
you kind of need to start with your leadership as far as your head coach, and then they
Do we know
develop.
who the head coach is?
Then
for
they
this World
develop a
Juniors?
style of play for that team. I mean, no one likes Mike Babcock anymore, but that is the best team I've ever seen on the ice.
14?
Was that
They were
Sochi.
immaculate.
Yeah,
It was a machine.
yeah.
They were just a machine.
Yeah.
Just that
They
absolutely.
were on the verge of being.
They were just too boring.
to watch because how much they suffocated. the other
Precision.
They
team.
were just it was like a snake. They
Yeah.
just wrapped themselves around you and slowly took the life out of you.
squeezed the life out
but
of you.
funny enough, the team that challenged them the best was Latvia.
Yeah.
Like Latvia almost took them down.
Well,
I
because
think
they
it was
went
a
rope and
shootout.
dope. They went rope.
I know,
rope and
but it was just
Yeah.
fascinating that of all these teams, you're like that Latvia was the team that almost took them out and ended the perfect machine. Mm-hmm. But in the end, it wasn't.
No, because in the
It's
end, you
Canada.
still
It's Canada.
those guys on the ice.
It's just they're that good.
Yeah.
Dennis Williams, is he going to be the juniors head coach? Yeah, it looks like him. I was just trying to see who they announced for it. Oh, no. Alan Letang will be the coach for Canada at the World Juniors this year after being assistant for the past two tournaments.
Okay.
I like that. I like transitioning from... Oh, Justin Pogge takes on the goaltending consulting duties. Geez, that makes me feel old.
Yeah, it
I
should make you
remember
feel
him.
old.
I remember when it was the star goalie for Canada at the World Juniors, and everyone's like, "God damn, the Leafs have a great goalie prospect here." Man, now he's a goaltending consultant.
He did
Jeez.
retire pretty early, though.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, he did.
We're watching him be the goaltending consultant for a team he did so great with years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm officially old. Matt Iwanyk, Wil
You're
Fraser,
old.
Tom Gazzola with you here on the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato. Did you have a text that you wanted to read there?
It was about the NBA in-season tournament from Jeffy. Hello, Jeffy. The NBA in-season tournament games all count as regular season games, except for the championship games. So you can't just take them off of trying, says Jeffy.
No, I know, but that's why I said the NBA got it wrong.
Yeah.
In soccer,
reading
they're
that.
not. They're like, you have the FA Cup and you have your Premier League games.
Yeah.
Your FA Cup does not count to your Premier League standings. You could play the same opponent the same week. You could play Manchester United could take Fulham
think I
on a
disagree.
Wednesday.
I like
they could
the
play on a
idea of
Saturday.
making a game more important than
I don't
less
think it is more
important.
important though.
Well, because it counts for two things. Yeah, I like it. I like amplifying things, not diminishing them. So that's my take.
Question via the Paris Jewelers inbox. May I float it to you guys?
Please.
I guess.
No name on it. 780-218-9999. Or as Eric likes to say, 99999. This
that
one
tracks.
says,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
hey guys, could the NBA team up with the WNBA and maybe other basketball associations to hold a bigger tournament altogether?
Can you say that again? Could
Could the NBA team up with the WNBA and maybe other basketball associations to hold a bigger tournament altogether?
there is a World Cup of basketball.
Yeah. Which
So
we
they
saw
do
the
have
Stingers. Stingers kind of played on the North American leg of that when they won
No,
the
that's Champions League.
CBL.
No, there's a legit there's a national national. Oh, yeah, I see what they're wanting a Champions League.
That's what
okay, yeah,
I
no,
think.
I'm
That's
getting it
where
now.
that texter's
They're
going
wanting
with
more
that.
of-
Yeah.
So you're wanting to build a men's
Including
and a
the
women's championship.
WNBA.
You are right. The Stingers they won the right to be in it was the Americas.
Yeah.
that they were in.
I don't know if there is a partner WNBA club for every NBA club yet. If there was, you could probably have some sort of
Mixed teams would be interesting to see.
either mixed teams or mixed points, right?
Yeah.
Where it's all of a sudden one of the other two clubs is helping the overall standings
Right.
for. Yeah, I think you could probably play around with that.
The problem is, though, is the NBA is again. What do they benefit from this? There's a huge loss here.
That is
if
true.
you lose a game against any of these other teams, people are going to look poorly on you,
Yeah.
make fun of you, and and if you win, everyone just goes, "Well, the NBA won. Of course you won."
Yeah.
And so for them, I don't think they would put that reputation up there. And again, when it comes to soccer, I don't know. Actually, I've never read into the start of Champions League and how that all played out. But as of right now, like the top leagues are the top leagues. They're comparable. There are 4 leagues that you could make an argument for that are the best in the world.
Right.
I would say the Premier League is number 1. But people could make the argument that it's La Liga in Spain or it's Bundesliga in Germany or like the best teams are in Germany or it's the best teams are in Italy type thing.
Serie A is corrupt. Let's not kid ourselves.
100%.
Yeah.
But so is the sport
Yes.
in general.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not the case anywhere else. Like there's not a lot of other sports that have this multiple top leagues.
Yeah.
I think the closest might be baseball.
And there is also a question of
Yeah, maybe.
seriousness and competitiveness to it, right? Like you don't want it to become too much of a gimmick that it starts feeling like an all-star game.
Yes.
Right,
Oh, good point.
you want it to still have a competitive edge to it. 'Cause My fear is that in 25 years' time, it will be all teams everywhere just playing in one big pickleball tournament, right? Like,
Apparently, pickleball's
bro,
awesome.
this is what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
It's weird to
that
watch on TV.
it'll be Leon and Connor out there against LeBron, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and it'll all just be a big pickleball tournament here on in. And, and I'm sure there's an executive somewhere who's like writing this down right
They just
now.
heard this went greatest idea
Exactly,
ever. They have a meeting today and they're going to go and be like, I came up on my own with the greatest thing ever, you guys.
Yeah, it's the Pickleball World Championships brought to you by Stoko and Robitussin.
Will, when this happens,
It's my fault.
No, I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs. This was Will's idea. This was Will's. He gets the credit.
It wasn't so much an idea as a foreboding. Like
I'm gonna stand outside Rogers Place for the pickleball game with Will was right.
Exactly.
Big sign.
At least to me, it seems
want
like
in.
everything has devolved into pickleball. these
Yes.
days. But maybe that's just my age.
A good friend of mine left the Dallas Stars broadcast as
Yes.
the in-game host, ringside reporter, to go full-time Pickleball Network.
Yeah.
She's loving it.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, the money's better and the audience is bigger. I was like, pardon me? She goes, yeah, and I have to do tennis too, and it's a lot of fun. And pickleball is huge. It's like the #1 growing sport. Like I think Andy,
it's the boomers.
yeah,
man.
it's unreal. Like Pete Sampras is doing like pickleball stuff, and
Is he still unlikable in pickleball as well?
I'm assuming as much. Yeah, he's just a little easier going, but yeah, I was like, really, you're leaving the NHL for pickleball and tennis?
That's a sign about the NHL.
I was
too,
going
right
to say
now.
that,
That's not like
that doesn't surprise me that much.
Pickleball
She said-
is one of the fastest growing sports.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you go from no 1 to 10, that's a huge percent money. There, math wise, that's a huge increase type thing. So like it is. There's a reason why it's one of the fastest growing.
Yeah.
But like I don't know what it'll peak at. But yeah, it's also not good for the NHL when
No,
someone's
and-
looking there and be like, this is better. There's more interest here than with hockey.
She said the money was
An
better.
NHL team too.
Yeah, she said the money was better, travel is way easier, and the audience is huge compared to covering the Dallas Stars every day. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
good
well,
luck.
hockey has the same problem it had 40 years ago,
Yeah,
which
that's
is that outside of European football, there is not a more passionate fan base than the NHL fan, and that passion is exclusionary, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Which is very football, soccer too.
yeah, like
In this country, at least, I feel like there's a lot of people in
you
soccer
bring
in
up,
Canada
you bring
that
up
are
any sort of rule change or format change or anything that might have the chance of encouraging new viewers in, and it is killed as quickly as it can.
It reminds me of a conversation me and Jamor once were having at 1260 within probably the last year or so of when we were let go. And I was talking about you need to grow this game, add people. And we got texts like, why do you need to grow it?
Yeah. Well, no,
Like
that's
legit. Like
nope.
they're like, why do you need to gain
That's
new
exactly
people?
it.
Why can't it just be ours? Why do we need to get new fans to this? Why do we need to convince a casual sports fan to now become more of a diehard hockey fan? If it means changing this game, I don't want that. Let's keep it as is.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was quite a bit of people that agreed with that.
if you don't evolve, you die.
But it won't die in their lifetime type thing.
In their lifetime, but eventually it will.
The
Like, I don't
CFL
think-
is still a thing, man. Like,
Well, boxing still happens.
Don't you
now,
dare besmirch
I don't think
the
hockey could
CFL.
go as far as boxing. I don't
actually,
think it fall
boxing
off
is experiencing a renaissance. You
think?
Not in North America, but worldwide, man. Like it will always be the sport for those who are in poverty to pull themselves out of it, which is why the best boxers in the world are coming out of places like Ukraine and Wales. And like you look at the areas where the best boxers have always come out of: Mexico, South America, like the Philippines. It's always going to be those sort of developing economies. Should we put it that way? Where
They're not
people are
G8s.
willing to do what it takes to pull themselves out of poverty. So boxing's always going to have a place. It's just not going to be a place where if I can send my kid to college, he's not going to box.
No.
Right? Like I'll do whatever it takes to get him not having his head slammed in. But for that kid who can't do anything else, he'll learn how to box.
Like hockey, they're on track to becoming the 5th biggest league in the U.S. Like that, they're not there yet, but they're on track to having the MLS pass them and become the 5th biggest
you
league.
think MLS? See,
Who do you think?
I would like, if we're just talking about team sports, you're probably right. But if we're talking about sports, I'd say UFC is bigger than them. I would say that NASCAR is definitely bigger than them. Like when you're talking about sort of quote unquote the zeitgeist of the population, like what they're talking about, I think the NHL.
I don't know if I could go NASCAR. Like if I have to do a litmus test, I'll go. Now look,
And if we're going to throw NCAA sport into it, it doesn't even compare.
Oh, no.
Right?
No,
So
men's football
So
and men's
when you
basketball,
actually start putting
it's
together
huge.
a list, like
No, let's go professional then. Professional team sports. MLS is closing the gap. They're not there yet. It's like they're getting there, but I don't think it's there yet.
They've made a mistake, though.
Well, was it going to Apple TV?
No, bringing in old European superstars.
They got actually. Here's the funny thing about that is that's what they used to do all the time.
Yes,
starting with David Beckham,
that's right.
Who, by the way, apparently his documentary is fantastic on Netflix.
Yeah.
I got to go check that out. They started bringing some other those like Wayne Rooney and Schweinsteiger, and then they actually transitioned away from that.
That's right.
And they got into becoming a league of okay, we're actually going to develop our people and send them off to Europe as opposed to the other way around.
The growth happen.
And I think that's still going to happen. I don't hate it's Messi. That's the thing in the end. You have to bring Messi in. Because he's here only for a limited time. That team was already trashed. They were at the bottom of the standings. That brings some new eyeballs to the league. I don't think we're going to start seeing them now look at going back to we're going to be the retirement home of European football.
See, and my concern with it is that it actually draws eyeballs away from your league because people look at a Messi and go, wait a minute, this is the geriatric Messi. And so they go, I'm going to spend my time, money, and effort.
I don't think there's a lot thinking that.
Looking at European football instead of what's going on. Like, Messi came over and dominated.
It was actually seeing some of those goals, and here's where I think you're a little wrong.
Okay,
is that seeing some of the goals and they got blown up. Yeah. Look at this goal. Look at this goal. Look at goal. I looked at it and went, "That's just poor goaltending." Like there's some of these like this is the level of this league. If Lionel Messi was doing this shot while he was with Barcelona, still there's a good chance it's saved or something. Now I'm not trying to take anything away from the greatness of Messi, but it was some of them were like that is just the play of MLS. But the reaction that he got and social media had to it was not that. The vast majority was, look how great Messi is.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think a lot of people are looking at him as he's into the retirement phase. Look at this league.
Yeah, see, I agree with you. The problem that I would have is if I had a 12-year-old kid who had only been a Lumberjacks fan his entire life, and that's the only level of soccer he's ever watched.
Timbers, I think.
Timbers,
Portland.
I've been to one of those games. That's fun.
And exactly, and the atmosphere is incredible in those stadiums.
The Pacific Northwest is a great.
You've told yourself this is professional soccer, and you think those are the best players that you will ever see, and then a Messi comes in and kind of humiliates your league a little bit. To me, it would make me less of a fan, right? Like if I'd grown up an Oilers fan and I'm watching Connor McDavid and I think he's the greatest hockey player I've ever seen, and then some
he goes
team
to Germany,
comes in from Germany,
From Cologne.
Some team from Cologne sends us their German kid, and he just humiliates the league. I'd be like, I'm wrong. I'm watching an inferior product. And that's to me, that's death for a league when you can break that spell that you cast over them, right? Ignorance is bliss when it comes to soccer in North America.
If you're an MLS fan thinking your league though is top quality, you already have that's on you. You have to if you're an MLS fan, you have to already it's like being a CFL fan.
Yeah.
I know the CFL is not the NFL. I know if Patrick Mahomes comes into this league and he plays on Commonwealth Field, he's gonna run around everyone, and he's gonna embarrass a lot of those players. Yes. I know that, but it's still a fine league to me, but I understand what that is, and I think if you're an MLS fan and you think, Lionel Messi's not gonna come here,
it's not an apples to apples comparison, though, right? In the CFL is a unique enough game, and we have seen enough, quote unquote, near their prime Americans come up and struggle in the CFL, that there is still some ego attached to a CFL fan where we go, listen, this is different. You can't just assume that an NFL All-Star will be a CFL All-Star and vice versa. Whereas when it comes to soccer, it's the same pitch, it's the same rules. And we've rarely seen the European superstar come over and struggle.
Yes. But again, I'll just if you're an American and look, they have massive egos and massive arrogance. But if you go and watch MLS and you think that this is a top league, that it matches up with the Premier League, You right there are just foolish. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. If you are a fan of MLS soccer, or if you're a fan of the Canadian Premier League, you have to be aware of where it stands in the rankings of soccer leagues. And it's ultimately, you're a development league. MLS is more of a development league than a top league in the world, in my eyes.
Right, which you don't want your fans to know.
Unless you, but also like,
Good point.
but
Yeah.
I want to have.
I'm
the
not
FC
disagreeing with
Edmonton
any of your
back.
takes. I'm just saying that.
But I don't think that's wrong.
As far as
because you're
building
not
a
getting
business,
better. But you're not getting better. You're
like,
not going to be the Premier League. You're not going to be
My sense is that the
Bundesliga.
MLS
They tried to sell it higher.
is
saying?
topping out at what they're capable of right now until they prove that they can be considered one of the top tiers. And they can't prove that to their fan base or anyone else if they keep having 35-year-olds come in and make a mockery of their goaltenders.
Flip side to all this is TFC had Insigne and Bernardeschi from Italy come, and
Yeah.
they were miserable this year.
That's
They
right.
couldn't produce.
Yeah.
And that's where you could point to, see, we're just as good.
But isn't Toronto where your hopes go to die?
They are again. They are again. But, you know, I still do believe MLS will catch the NHL because of the World Cup. Because the World Cup is going to help draw some extra. Because soccer is actually more popular than hockey in
Well,
the US.
I was going to say
but they're not MLS fans. They're fans of
it will catch
other
the
leagues.
NHL because how much does it cost to play soccer? Right? Like,
Well, but even like just TV viewership.
no,
things
but
like that, right?
but I'm saying
You think-
like
I see
where
what
do
you're
you get at a certain point where do you get your fans from? They have to partake in the sport.
Yeah.
And the NHL, it's a rich person's league, man. Like
Even in Canada.
especially in
Right?
Canada,
Yeah.
Like
right?
it's not even a thing that we could say
I
here
have
in Canada.
so many
It's-
friends that
it's
scrimp
getting
and
tougher
save
tougher.
and go into debt just so that like their kids who are average hockey players can play average hockey. And we all sit around going, heaven forbid your kid has talent. Like I hope your kid doesn't have any talent at this because if he does, that's $300,000 mortgage that you're never
Yeah.
going to see again because
Yeah.
that's
Or you hope
that's
that they're
what-
McDavid. Like if they're gonna have that talent where you see it and be like, hey,
I would be intrigued to know how much McDavid's parents spent for him. I'm sure he's
lot.
paid
but
it
the
back.
flip side, well, that's the thing. Like it's where you know, like without a doubt, this guy's going somewhere. He'll kids taking care of parents in the end.
If my kid is Connor McDavid, I know that that's an easy investment to make. It's
But that's the only one. Like
Right.
That's
there's a
you need to see it that level.
for every Connor
Whoa.
McDavid, there's 1,000 other kids who were really good and couldn't make it into.
It's
the
just funny. It
pros.
reminds me of a Family Guy Peter Griffin thing where he's teaching like an inner school. Someone's like, have a lot of kids. Because chances are one of them is going to make it big in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
paying the bills then? Hollywood kid. And you're like, that is just terrible, terrible advice, but a funny.
Okay, the doc texts in says indoor soccer costs almost as much as hockey registration wise, and I nearly threw up when I saw the price tag.
Yeah.
Really?
He's not wrong. My response would be to say no. Like,
I'm assuming it's just availability of finding places to play.
It's the facility costs.
Yeah.
Because you've
right.
got like what you'd have the indoor soccer center. So there's 3 of those in Edmonton, 4 rinks per.
Yeah.
And that's if you're not doing any ball hockey or
Wow.
anything there. So that would be at most, you'd have 12. And then I don't know how many city rinks turn into
Yeah.
indoor soccer. I don't think many.
Well,
I don't think
they're-
any.
They're all being converted to pickleball courts.
So right there, I would assume that that's a big cost is just getting.
No,
the
indoor
avail.
soccer is ridiculous.
Yeah,
in the
Brandon
wintertime.
from Windsor says that's a false statement. I pay more for my daughters to play soccer than hockey. It used to be true, not anymore. I pay almost $10K a year for my daughter to play OPDL soccer.
Okay, but on the flip side, where I'll defend Will on this though is, it's if I'm a kid, I just need sneakers and a ball, and I can go to the field.
Yeah,
right?
I
Whereas
apologize. I wasn't.
If you
I wasn't
like, you
clear.
need to go buy skates, you need to go
Yes.
buy a stick, and you need to go find that ice, and you can only do that half the year. I guess street hockey.
I am
street
not.
hockey in there,
I'm
but-
not talking about organized sport because organized sport everywhere is a grift. And you are all being screwed over by the organizations that are in charge of them because they're all making good money off of you and your kids. I'm talking about the ability to go next door, grab your neighbor, and play some semblance of the sport.
You could just go play in your backyard if you wanted.
And all you need is shoes and a soccer ball, and even shoes aren't necessary.
yes.
Like,
If you're playing on grass,
right? Like,
Go for it.
Whereas to get your kids skates, to teach them, like there is a real barrier to first time, right? Unless you had a dad or a mom who played it and is out there teaching you, you're not going to learn the basics of hockey. Whereas you don't need anyone other than a friend to teach you how to play soccer. Every schoolyard in the city, until there's too much snow out there, are going to have a couple of kids kicking a soccer ball around. And that's where soccer will pass hockey, is that year after year after year, you will have more kids who understand soccer who don't really get hockey because they didn't play it.
I think FIFA video game is becoming bigger
Absolutely,
and bigger too.
man.
And like for me, for one of the reasons I became such a football fan, NFL wise, or at a young age, was I played Madden every single year.
You're absolutely
I knew
right.
every offensive lineman out there almost.
And
like,
you understood
because
schemes.
And I became a big fan of that, and that's one of the reasons why people say the CFL needs a video game. I know the reasons why there isn't one, but but I think FIFA is starting to become. I'm hearing more and more people playing FIFA and FIFA, and well, now what is it? EA FC or something?
They lost the license.
They don't have the FIFA license. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But and that too, I think kids are going to start playing that more and more. And when you start playing that, you're going to then want to. Hey, I want to watch Liverpool play today, or I'm going to want to watch Real Madrid and. That's going to be the tide. That's not just in the U.S., but in Canada too. Like Canada, I don't think in my lifetime I'll ever see soccer bigger than hockey in this country. I will never say that. But soccer will start creeping up the ladder of power rankings of top sports in this country more and more and more.
Easily. I mean, it's just. I mean, we are an immigrant nation, and I have no problem with that. And when you're an immigrant nation, you will.
That's what they love.
You will morph into whatever the dominant culture becomes, and so I think it. I mean, look at the rise of cricket in this country. Who ever saw that happening? Like,
I know there's a Toronto team, isn't there?
Like, well, I'm not even talking professionally.
Just like
I'm just
playing.
talking people. Like playing and there being games. Like you go,
honestly, I didn't.
You
that's
go
first
Toronto,
I kind of feel
Lower
that.
Mainland, around Vancouver, and it is being played, and that never happened, right? Like lacrosse used to be way bigger than it is now, right? So things they ebb and flow, which isn't to say lacrosse is gonna disappear, but it's never gonna be as big as it was.
I think NLL is actually though it's one of its strongest it's ever been as a league.
Yeah,
I think I'm a little out of it, but they're playing. In Moose Jaw, I think the Rush and the Roughnecks this weekend.
Are they really?
I'm assuming it was an exhibition game this past weekend and just trying to grow it a little bit more. They were playing in Montreal. I think that's a league that was a league that was known for a team would play in one city and the next year they're in another city and the next year they're in another city and a lot of moving around. I think they've solidified that a little bit more. I think.
For any professional league, you need that sort of support structure of the minor pro, all that sort of building up to it. And NLL kind of tried to skip those steps and just go straight top level pro before you had any sort of like there is no diehard junior club in Moose Jaw, for example, that is leading the charge as far as fan base is concerned to push it so that Regina needs a team because there's a fan base that has existed for the last 30 years.
Ben into the inbox, 780-218-9999, Parish Jewelers inbox. I saw 3 kids playing soccer with a pine cone and winter boots this morning. You don't need bleep to play soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
Lance saying, that's how I became a NASCAR fan. I used to play the video game in GameCube and loved it. Started following the sport.
Yeah.
GameCube is like a cult following too. A lot of people think back of GameCube as like one of the best and most underrated video game consoles there is.
GameCube? Oh,
I didn't. Yes or no? I was indifferent to it, but we had part of his chat this weekend. I had with a couple people. It came up, so there's a cult following to GameCube
For GameCube.
that it was underrated.
Oh, interesting. It's like people who love Sega Dreamcast, which had a small moment.
It's just human nature, man. We love putting ourselves into tribes, don't we?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
PlayStation, baby.
how ridiculous the tribe is. We will find one and put ourselves in it.
Damn rights, Will.
Yeah.
KR
And get into fights with other people
big
about
debates.
it, right? Like,
Well, why do we love sports?
Yeah.
It's what it
a
is.
tribe.
That's really when you break it down.
It's a
I was
tribe.
watching the Apple Cup, Washington State versus Washington with Lucas.
Yeah.
He's a Huskies fan. I'm a Cougs fan.
Why?
Spokane for me. My dad kind of watched them a little bit growing up with Spokane TV, so I see the Cougs a lot.
Why is right.
Why?
Lucas, in the end, he went to a game out in Seattle, loved it, and now he's a Huskies fan. But we were watching the Apple Cup, and we're both really into it.
Yeah.
And like we had Raimai and Eric and buddy Chad. They were watching. They were watching some partials, and then Lucas and I are really into it though. Going back, like it was a back and forth, and we're really invested.
I
But
kinda
why,
feel like-
why? Part of it is why am I a Cougs fan? Why do I care about this team from Pullman, Washington? But damn it, when that game was coming to the end and they had a couple picks to get the ball away and take away that game-winning field goal, I was upset when that didn't happen.
That is ridiculous. Yeah, fandom to me needs to be a curse and nothing
I love
else,
it.
right?
That's-
Like it needs to be something your parents unfortunately gave you or geography did. When it's guys like you who just randomly choose things and then get emotionally attached.
I'm in.
It's just why would
I'm
you
all
do
in on
that
the
to yourself?
because it's so enjoyable.
You're shortening your life, man.
We didn't get eligible for bowl games this year. We didn't win enough games.
Oh, he said
we only won 5 games, so we didn't get that 6
He
game.
loves
But
the
I
lead.
was really enjoying the Coug season. They had a great year. Also, in 2 weeks, it's the big Army-Navy game. It's one of my favorite games of the year because
Go Navy.
But it's one of those until Eric loves that. Until the last few years where it's actually picked up in terms of entertainment. It's a great game because it'd be like 3-0 final score. They only
goodness.
run the ball. Nothing. It's snowing.
You're a pervert. That's what you are. You are a sports pervert.
College football shuts down for this one game of the year that has really no entertainment
do it,
value,
man.
but it's awesome.
Oh, gross.
I love it. Next weekend, maybe conference
Go
championships
for a
this
walk.
weekend, and then
Come
Army
for a
Navy.
run with me, Matthew. Just
I love the
experience
Army
the
Navy
world.
game. It's just
I
it's
watched
so
way too much
America. That's what it is. I absolutely love that one. You watch what?
I watched way too much college football on Saturday. I watched OSU
Wasn't it
BYU.
great?
No, I was like, why am I watching this?
Because it's great football.
I'm like, this sucks.
Like the Alabama Auburn game coming down to a 4th and goal from like
Great.
the 32-yard line and
Yeah.
a touchdown to win the Iron Bowl.
You are a U fan.
Yep.
Explain to me what's gone on with the U.
Oh, I honestly don't know. It's
Because
been trashed.
I was
since
at a restaurant
they
and they
lost-
had the game on, and it was maybe like a third full.
Well,
the stadium was
they've
like
never
a third
had good
full.
supporters.
Yeah.
They've never had, one thing that hurt the Hurricanes was they had the Orange Bowl and they tore it down and they
Okay.
didn't have a home, so
Yeah.
they play at Dolphin Stadium,
Yeah.
Hard Rock, whatever. Which I don't think is near campus or whatever, but it's
Okay.
The
Okay,
kids,
so
they
it's
don't
not
show-
on
like,
campus, so it's not
I don't think,
considered
and then
a-
there's a lot of
okay.
talks like they need a facility. They haven't
Yeah.
been good since they basically torn down the Orange Bowl.
I'm completely ignorant to
No,
all of it, and I'm
and
just
it-
watching. I'm looking
but-
at the stands, and they are empty.
But the thing is, it's
I'm
also
like, I didn't think this happened in.
But that's
in
Miami, too.
NCAA.
It does.
But that's Miami too. Remember when the Heat had the big 3?
Yeah.
They had a campaign at one point about getting in your seat early.
Yeah.
Because people wouldn't show up until partway through the first quarter and they would leave in the fourth quarter. That is the Miami
Maybe they
and
are
Florida
just
fan.
healthier people.
Well,
that they're
that's-
like, we live in Miami.
We don't
Why
need
would
to
we
be there the
go
whole time.
inside?
So that was that part of it.
There's-
So I think that's with the Hurricanes, but also the Hurricanes, they haven't been good since they got destroyed in, I think it was the Peach Bowl to LSU 40-3 in like 2004.
Oh, what a nerd. You are a nerd.
2005, and we've
Yeah,
been
I was
trash
right. You're a
ever
sports
since.
pervert. Yeah.
We've had a couple good years in that.
Sports pervert.
Why?
But there is a misconception. When I was down in OKC living in Oklahoma,
Everyone
there-
take a shot.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, I brought it up again. There was way more college games
Yes.
on TV. And I remember seeing, I can't remember, I have no clue which teams were playing, but they were like the 80th ranked teams, 80 versus 90, whatever, because there's 100 and whatever teams. And there was like 500 people in this stadium. And I text my buddy, I'm like, hey, what's this game I'm watching on ESPN 4 or whatever it was?
The
And he-
Ocho.
Yeah,
ESPN
it was essentially the Ocho. And he's like, oh, that's a Div 1 game. I was like, pardon me? He goes, yeah, it's Div 1. NCAA Div 1. And he's like, yeah, it's just obscure teams that are in Div 1. And I'm like, well, why isn't there like 60,000 people in the stadium? And he goes, well, only the big schools with the huge reputations and the big followings have the packed stadiums every Saturday. And he's like, there's other games that happen on Thursday nights and obscure times and places. And that's just the fact of the matter in NCAA Div 1 football. I was like, oh my God. And I had gone to the UNLV game, BYU. I talk about it. There was like 14,000 people in the 30,000 seat stadium. And these were teams, and BYU was in that game. There are games where there's nobody there. And even watching that OSU game this weekend. It was raining. It was miserable. But you had BYU, OSU, big college football weekend, and the stands were pretty empty. So I think we only get to see like the
Alabama and
top,
Notre Dame.
and we make this assumption that it's like that throughout.
Well,
it's not.
Well, I'd say most of it still is.
No, like Matty.
Well, no, because there's 130
where Ricky
schools.
Ray played at Sacramento State. Do you think they had 25,000 to 30,000?
Sacramento State's not a top school.
Well, I'm
Like
just
they're
saying,
not in they're not in part of in the top division
San Jose
of NCAA.
State or whatever.
Yeah, but of the 130 schools, I would probably put up a good 60, 70.
I'd say maybe
schools.
30 are sold out.
Well, sellout is different because you're talking about some of these places have massive stadiums. But I can
Some
name,
don't. Some have like 15,000 seat
but-
stadiums and they don't sell out.
Does it have to do with alcohol?
I don't know, but
Maybe, I don't
Washington
know.
has a great
Like-
stadium and they sell out really well.
Am
Washington
I
State
wrong?
would.
Like, a lot of them
USC,
don't allow liquor
UCLA.
sales?
It's starting
Some
to creep
don't.
in. It's
Yeah.
starting to creep in. It hasn't always been there, but it's starting to creep
I
in.
wonder if that's actually part of it, though, right? That because of unless you are a truly dynamic team, that there's guys that are like, I'll stay home and drink.
Yeah.
I'll watch it on TV.
Yeah. Like,
Or at the bar or wherever.
Yeah, Washington this past weekend, you could tell actually one of the buddies we were with, he's like, why does no one have a drink in their hand? We're like, well, they don't have these ones. But
it's a college
they're
sport.
slowly putting them
Yeah.
into the stadiums because I think these schools are realizing, well, one, there's a lot of money to be had by selling alcohol of these, and two, you could just go outside the stadium, take a walk, turn the corner. There's all this tailgating, and there's a bunch of kids plowed. Like absolutely
pre-gaming.
plowed
that
right
is
now.
a fact.
And it's like, well,
That is a fact.
So what are we doing here? Let's just, and then it goes back to point one. Let's make some money.
Yeah.
You know, so it is starting to slowly creep in. But yeah, no, I
Until all the drunk driving accidents on the way home will curb it, right? Like there's
it's America. They won't change
America.
that. America, baby. It's America.
America.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato. Caesar, the top Caesar brand in the country with over 400 million cans crushed by Canadians every single year. Let's get to movers and shakers presented by Marco and Mike Realty. Realty One Group Insider. Let Marco and Mike earn your trust. Buying or selling, give Marco and Mike the old PTO contract. Let them prove to you why they're the best team for the job. You won't be disappointed. MarcoandMike.com for more information. Norman at Combine is who's watching Bozone Live, throwing that out there. Had someone else earlier in the nasty chat. The Bison Mask guy say, good show last night, Tommy. Watched briefly, mostly just your hits. Did you know he is
the host?
a host of
Well,
a
I
hunting
actually
show?
have a thought. I have a question for you
Please.
because this is a constant debate
Okay.
with me and my hunting buddies.
Do you hunt?
306 or the 7mm mag? Like, which should I be going for with?
Well, first of all,
deer hunting season?
great question. Thank you for putting me into a corner.
Yeah.
But I only know Bozone, and that's bow hunting.
Oh, only bow hunting. Okay,
yeah. So, and
Are
only
you straight
whitetails.
recoil or are you going compound out there?
Listen, I don't talk about these kinds of things. I only get us in and out of break, ask a few questions, and let the hunters do the talking. So all I know is that there's like 3 days
Are
left
you
in the
telling me you don't cover yourself in doe urine before every broadcast?
No, I do not put doe estrus on myself.
Maybe that's what you need to do for the last couple of shows.
No,
yeah,
that's
just
not.
come in.
I feel like it's not something I'm going to be doing. But yes, season 4 of Bozone Live continues
more episodes.
tomorrow night,
and
then wraps up on Thursday. Matthew, thank you for filling in on the pregame.
Let's hear your elk call.
Again.
Come on, bring it
I'm
in.
I'm white-tailed deer specific.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
you guys
not going
having
to grunt,
Moss on?
bleat, or rattle. What?
Are you guys going to have Moss on? Or
We're
is he
hoping
not?
Jason is
'Cause,
back. I heard he's back. He's one of our hunters. He was on the preview show, but then went on to win a Grey Cup. Hopefully he's on. Maybe we get him in for the last episode.
Actually,
Because he was at Vanya this past week, and I'm thinking like that Grey Cup probably derailed his plans a little bit. For what he was
I
doing.
don't think he's going to be getting
actually,
much hunting in.
you didn't know this, but Moss has been on every show in a ghillie suit, just in a different area. So I recommend you go back, look at former episodes, and try and spot where Jason Moss has been hiding.
Are you a hunter?
No, I have friends who hunt,
Yeah.
and I tag along because there's usually alcohol and bad stories to tell. Yeah,
Our hunters would not approve of that.
I carry a shotgun in case there's a grouse that I can shoot at, but that's the only thing I'll pull a trigger on.
I wouldn't have pictured you going out hunting. I don't know why. I should have.
Do you wear camo?
I would never go hunting.
No, I wear dull tones. That's about it.
Olive drab.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice.
Anything caught yesterday?
No bucks went down yesterday. No, we've had a few, but yeah, yesterday was the first show where we didn't have any. The warm weather is messing up
Is it?
things. Yeah,
This is like great weather.
it is great
I know
weather,
it's
but
awful, but it's also
there
great at
a
the
lot of
exact same
hunters
time.
are frustrated, and a lot of people are giving up and just.
I'm
Like,
assuming
know
it's going to
that,
be terrible for farming next year. Like I'm
know-
assuming
Yeah.
agriculture next year, this is just
Yeah.
terrible for them
Probably.
getting the moisture in the ground early. But like for average people right now,
we had
like
rain
I think
last week, but
Did you know that bull elk learn like avoidance of hunters throughout their life?
yeah,
Like, basically, once an elk is after the age of like 8 or 9, they're pretty much unkillable. Like that, you'll never get. Well,
Like,
you'll
they're
never,
just that.
You'll never get in range. Like that, their senses are so attuned
Yeah.
that they'll already be out of the area before you even arrive.
Daryl Legg, our co-host yesterday, great hunter. He was mentioning like even whitetails, like if you take a shot at one and you miss,
You'll
they'll
never hit 'em
never
again.
come back that route again. Also, he said a moose noticed a trail cam and wrecked it, and something with the infrared light caught his attention. He knew something was up
Yeah.
and wrecked one of his trail cams. So, like, they have intuition.
Oh yeah, I love watching Planet Earth. It's like seeing that stuff is
Yeah.
what
Actually,
animals
that's
can
what
do.
the shotgun guy is also there for on a hunt.
Yeah.
Is you usually keep like your second or third rifle chambered with a slug in case there's a bull.
To scare one off.
Or to drop it if you need
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Those
Those
things
are dangerous
scary.
animals,
They're,
man.
they're huge, man. They're huge. But yeah, it's been a frustrating season because the warm weather has kind of thrown things. They said there's a lot of night walking for the elk, like the whitetail bucks. So yeah, it's just unseasonably warm and it's throwing.
El
things
Nino.
out.
hard to find track.
El
Yeah.
Nino. Whatever. I think that's what we're going through right now.
Is it El Nino? Well, it's messing
Believe
things
so.
up for the damn show.
We'll see if there's any snow for Christmas this year.
But they're walking.
We've had dry years. It'll come.
I remember
It'll
once.
come in December.
Oh yeah, but it's
It's my ski season that's been delayed so far. That's killing me. Marmot is dry.
Is it?
Oh man, it's not good. Yeah.
Do you notice a difference between created snow and the natural stuff?
Oh, big time.
For you?
Yeah. I mean, you'll take whatever you can ski on, but what you want, ultimately, what you want is that mix, right? You want to get fresh, and then you want man-made snow, and then you need your cats to go out there at night every night, sort of mixing everything up. That's how you get perfect conditions. Corduroy road, as they like to call it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've
You
just
guys
learned the term.
coming out? Gonna
No, I'm not
For
a shredder.
skiing?
Not a
shred the gnar?
snowboarder.
Shred the gnar.
I've
No.
said this before. I do the thing I would love to do because I haven't gone skiing or snowboarding in like over probably 15 years.
Yeah.
I would love to go, but just partake in the chalet. I will sit and watch your stuff.
Yeah.
I will take care of it all, but I'm
Yeah.
sitting in that chair and I ain't moving.
See, at Marmot, you need to be good enough to get to the mid chalet.
Is there some? Well, I could put on skis
The
for
mid chalet.
Yeah.
There's one up there.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
What do you mean
Is
good
there
enough?
drinks
to
and
get up
Actually,
there?
dancing at the
I'm
mid chalet?
What's- how hard
I'm
is it to
breaking
get
one
up
of my
there?
rules. It sucks. Don't go.
Why?
Oh, because you don't. It's like Fight Club. We don't talk about
How do you
Fight Club.
get up? Like, well, you just take the chair up there. So, well, like, is it getting down? Is it that hard?
Well, so you have
could
to
make my way
You
down.
have to take at least one chair to get there.
Okay.
And it's
This chair's not hard.
it's not an easy traverse from the chair to the chalet. You kind of have to. You have to.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of too much work. I'll just stick at the main chalet and watch everything.
Okay. You and the moms.
That's all. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll
How do I
gladly-
shred the gnar?
How do you shred the gnar? You really lean into those turns, man.
Okay.
You get out onto some corduroy or some chunky stuff.
Can I wear a tight outfit
I would hope so.
that accentuates my thighs? I don't know.
big skier Jeff Grishel.
Crush is
Crusher.
awesome at everything.
Yeah, Crusher hits powder though.
Mm-hmm.
That man lives for powder.
I imagine Crush drops out of a helicopter for every time he wants to shred the gnar.
Have you
Well-
never heard Shred the Gnar before?
No,
I've heard it.
hits-
I just love that
hits
he
the
brought
pow.
it.
That's what he does.
He hits the pow. Okay,
Yeah.
my lingo is getting better.
Yeah.
My skiing / snowboarding vernacular is
He's
expanding.
just all he wants is champagne days, man.
Champagne?
Yeah. It's a type of dry, powdery snow.
Oh,
is
gotcha.
Ideal.
Why don't you snowboard?
Because it's for children.
Ooh.
It's for people who don't want to get serious about something.
I have no frame of reference, so
I've never snowboarded in my life.
Oh, really?
I've never
Me
tried
neither.
it.
I haven't spent that much time falling on my face since I was a toddler. Like, it's
So maybe you don't.
unbelievable.
Maybe instead of not ripping it, maybe it's because you're not good enough for it.
Well, actually, most people snowboard because the learning curve is quicker on snowboarding.
Is it?
Like, your ability to get down a mountain is quicker, but your long term, like, you definitely hit a big time wall with snowboarding. Like where it equals out, whereas skiing you can always work.
Why
on
with
your
skiing
technique.
do you have to go right, left down a hill and not just straight down?
Why? Because
you kill yourself.
Because when you
Well,
learn,
not when you're lower down, it's not as bad. Like, why can't you just shoot straight down?
when you learn the proper technique, there is a preload and explosion effect that comes from your skis, like basically bending, and so you actually get a better sensation when you're pounding.
Oh,
into
okay.
It's
turns.
fun.
Yeah,
Like-
it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Most people do it because it's a proper way to control
Yes.
your speed.
Yeah.
But as far as having fun, like,
Well, I would
really-
think just getting as much speed as you can and just
Well,
going straight
Like
down.
that's asking for death.
and so
Not going from the very top. Not Black
you
Diamond
learn how
stuff.
to
This.
Yeah, it's
how to
asking for
use
that.
your skis to actually power yourself down a mountain. Yeah.
So snowboarding, Will, if I'm getting this right,
Yeah.
snowboarding to skiing is like ball hockey to hockey. So
Yeah.
ball hockey is for people who can't skate.
Right.
Yes, I love using them. My brother is a big ball hockey player. and I'm
Or
like,
maybe you just shouldn't skate.
yeah, they're just bad at skating, so they play ball hockey and they think it's real.
Did he play hockey this week?
Yes,
Paulie?
he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
And YouTube
we,
Trev
we
came.
brought
Yeah.
YouTube Trev out.
And how did that go?
He struggled, but it was good to have him out there. Paulie was great. Paulie was great.
Did he play ball hockey yesterday too?
He still plays ball hockey.
But did he go
I
yesterday?
really like ball hockey. I don't like people who take it seriously.
yeah, I know.
though.
It's funny.
Like,
it's cute.
Like it is one of
cute.
those
It's like,
things
oh,
that it's
nice.
like it's a gas to play with
Yes.
people who are having a good time. But
Yes.
as soon as people start taking it seriously, it's like
Yeah.
this sucks.
I'm like, I'm going to nationals. Like my brother would say, I'm like, for ball hockey? And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, man, it's serious. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Did your brother go to nationals?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
How did they do?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I never ask because I don't care.
He's got these multiple trophies,
Yeah,
Paulie,
like,
about winning
yeah.
nationals.
Couldn't
Tom
care.
has no idea because he
People-
just doesn't care.
People that know him are like, your brother's a really good ball hockey player. I'm like, that's cute. Oh,
Yeah.
neat. No, no, it's real. I'm like, yeah, okay. Sure. That's nice. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
I love the
Yeah.
it's
Gazzola
like you
brothers.
just told my brother he's good at magic.
Yeah. Sweet. Here's your participation of
Like
ribbon.
I'm sure there are people who are entertained by
Yeah,
it, but come on.
like I play ball hockey seriously. Cool, man. Have fun with that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
pick a card.
neat, yeah. Illusions, Michael. Illusions.
There's 3 of hearts.
Yeah.
That was
love it.
Movers
It's
and
a
Shakers, brought to you by Marco and Mike Realty, Realty One Group Insider, marcoandmike.com. You don't want to be the commissioner of the EST draft?
I would. Yeah, you. No, I was about to say you couldn't pay me, but that's not true. You could definitely pay me to do
Yeah.
it, but I would never do it for free. That's
You
for
and
sure.
snacks.
Yeah.
So why not?
He threw
Kind
he
of
threw a
similar,
hissy
kind
fit
of
on
similar
Friday.
to people who take
throw a
ball
hissy
hockey
fit.
seriously.
That's fair. That's fair.
The humor leaves the room real quick.
Matthew,
I didn't
you
throw
were,
any
you
sort of
were
hissy fit.
something else on
I
Friday.
didn't throw any sort of hissy fit. What kind of?
You did.
No, I
He's
didn't.
currently throwing a hissy
What I
fit
did-
Yeah, I know, he's
about
still
how
mad
he
about
didn't
it.
throw a hissy
What I
fit.
did was I made a ruling. You guys got all upset about the ruling. You guys got all pissy about it.
Yeah.
I stood by my ruling.
Your ruling was terrible.
People then wanted my head. I gave you the chance to give those people what they wanted. None of you had the guts to do it. So
my God.
I had the guts to do it, and I gave them my head. It's not a hissy fit.
He Paul Tagliabooed it
Yeah, you Taglia booted.
One of the best commissioners ever in the NFL.
and walked out. Yeah, walked
That's
out
all
when
I
he
needed
wasn't
to
being
do.
loved anymore.
It was you guys that were complaining and whining
You're
the whole
gonna come
time.
crawling back.
You're the one like come back. We'll bring him back on a
I
short
was
leash and
reluctant to
stuff.
vote. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
So then why are you
Go.
upset? So it wasn't a hissy fit.
I'm not-
I
it was
gave
a
you what
hissy
you
fit.
wanted, Tommy. I gave you what you wanted. I'm out.
You're gonna come crawling
Not a
back.
chance.
I
You
know.
love doing PDFs
No.
and spreadsheets.
I'm good.
No, you're not.
I'm more than fine.
You're gonna. You know what? In a week, we're gonna have a meeting. And you're gonna be like, guys, I'm
Not a
effed up."
chance.
Yeah. I
There is
disagree
no
with you.
way.
He is Seinfeld returning a coat
Yep.
right now. What's the reason? Spite.
Yeah, that's the biggest mistake. Like, why are you saying that? Just say didn't like it. Well, why would you say something like that? But no, it's like you guys have.
Are you
Dusty's,
justifying your decision right now?
No, I'm just
You're trying
saying,
to.
I'm not coming back. But Dusty's already today
He's
trying to
trying to
convince
show
me to
you
come
how
back.
much he doesn't care.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He does care.
I'm not the one trying
his
to
baby.
get me back.
What's
I am
your heart
good.
rate
I'm trying
right
to
now,
see
buddy?
if you want it.
We're
I'm
not trying to get you back. We know you're coming
Dusty
back.
already did this
I've
morning.
already told you what I think my role should be, and
Which
I
is?
think it's you need to have a separate channel going of me and somebody else.
Do you know who came in on Friday?
just mocking all of your picks.
Do you know who came in on Friday for the draft?
T. Roy. And he
Just
made a
showed up.
sign.
He just
And he brought Buddy Burgers.
He just showed up. Just all of a sudden, the door opens. It's like
Yeah.
8:30. All of a sudden, what the hell are you doing
He
here?
was drinking a Mangalorean at like 8:30.
Yeah,
So
that
he was
tracks.
already here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
next time they do a draft,
Next
they
time,
can tell you.
Me and T. Roy
I'm out.
will be out on the couch.
I'm just going to be at home, so I won't be here.
No, you can be our producer over.
Oh, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
gladly set
Yeah.
that up for you.
That was
I'll
fun.
be in there for that one. No
That was
problem.
fun, by the
Actually,
way.
it was really fun that
Yeah.
the 2 drafts ago when all we could hear was from outside the room, you and Troy making your comments. I was like, oh, Will's never been part of these drafts. That is great.
You're coming back.
No.
Okay.
I couldn't care less.
I was just curious why it was no for you. Because it was like Dusty, like, because the name that they threw out right away was you.
Yeah.
And
No.
in my mind, I was like, there's no way Will would do this. And then Dusty asked you today, and it wasn't even hesitation. You're just like, ha, absolutely not.
Because it's not fun. Like that's why all you get is abuse and ridicule.
And they wonder why I resigned.
Yeah. No, they
You
They
live
wonder why
for
I
it.
walked away.
But you love the punishment.
Yeah.
You're sick.
You're a glutton
We've
for
said
it.
it. You're a sports pervert.
Yeah.
Of course you want this.
I'll just go watch more. I'll go watch some Washington State highlights the next time. I'll go scout Cameron Ward, who I think could be a good CFL quarterback. Oh
my
just going
God.
to throw that
Oh,
out
man.
there. Washington State quarterback. He's a junior. He should have one more year at least with the Cougs,
Yeah.
and then watch for him in the CFL.
Well,
I'd be
it's worked before for Edmonton from that area of the NCAA.
well, like Washington.
Yeah.
My brother is very upset with us right now. Oh,
With us. What
Yeah.
did I do?
Yeah, we've hit on him on so many things. You guys are such losers, LOL.
Mm-hmm.
Will chirping snowboarding is so annoying. Why does he always laugh at things that aren't funny? Paulie's just getting pummeled and he's
Not me.
defensive.
I didn't do anything, Paulie.
Oh, Paulie, I am so sorry.
My brother is very sensitive.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I
that
love Paulie.
You need to strap yourself in to one board and fall down a mountain all the time.
He needs to take a day off of work so he can come in on.
we
Feel
should
free-
bring him in here.
Feel free
he
to.
needs to have time
He
off
works
of
for
work.
the government.
Feel
Works,
free to
I
take
use
a
that
lesson.
term
Says he
loosely.
can't just
And-
like he needs advance notice or something, so he needs to let us know when he's
Yeah.
free. And we'd
All
love
right,
to
well,
get
he's
Paul
clearly
on.
watching right now.
Yeah, listen. When you're done sipping juice boxes on a ski hill and want to actually get down it properly, I'll show you how to ski, bud. Like it's.
And I'll hold on to your stuff in the chalet.
Yeah.
He's so soft. He's so
Oh,
soft.
see, say something again.
No, he's going to reply soon. I know he's probably just fuming and he loves the attention.
Or he's already
too.
shut off the stream because
No,
he's
he's
all upset.
not. He loves
No?
it. He loves it. He's not doing anything else. Trust
Ball
me.
hockey, though, that's
Yeah.
you take it seriously. That's so sad. And pickleball is waiting for you, and you know it. You know
what?
You have been watching pickleball rise over the last 5 years, Paulie. You've seen
You're just
it.
waiting for the
You've
moment.
made your plan.
Just waiting.
You already know who your doubles partner is going to be.
I was gonna say I would actually team up with Paulie for
See,
pickleball.
like,
okay,
yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
I would get the Stoko so my knee
Yeah.
is working fine, and I would be a competitive pickleballer with my brother.
You guys would
Legit.
fight so much.
Yeah, we would. But it's
It
like a
wouldn't
healthy
last.
fight.
Oh, it would be good.
No,
we're the
with-
same.
I like in a hockey team. There's at least
It'd
other
be like
guys.
McEnroe and Connors on the same on
Yeah.
a doubles team
I don't
together.
know.
It works. We would force it to work. We would get that square peg through the round hole.
Ouch.
That's how we would do it.
No, I think you guys would have that. Would, there's no buffer.
I did not like
There's
that.
no third
I did not like
person.
that hand motion you just gave. That was
There's no-
aggressive.
I don't think. I think the dynamic would be very poor.
No, I think him and I, when we have to be serious, we get down to it. But he is so butthurt right now.
Exactly what you just said. When we have to get serious about what again?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. That's right. This is my point.
That's my doubles partner. Don't talk about my future teammate on pickleball.
You know who really loves pickleball, actually?
Everyone.
Well, not me. Dave Jameson.
Of course
Big
he
pickleball
does.
fan. Loves it.
Yeah, of course he does. Everyone loves pickleball.
Apparently, it's awesome. I've never played it.
Have you watched it?
I watched my
it's a
friend
weird
do the broadcast.
sound.
Well, you're dinking and you're not getting in the kitchen.
No, I know, but
And once again, with the hand thing.
the ball and the paddle and stuff, the way it sounds, it's a weird sound to it that I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think it'll ever actually hit on TV.
Yeah. Well, your pervert brain just doesn't
You're
like
sports
that
pervert.
sound. Yeah.
I don't know what's that got to do with a pervert brain. It just doesn't have a good sound to it.
It means you have an unhealthy connection to certain things. That's why I'm calling you a pervert. Like, you need to regulate more. But you can't, can you? You love it.
Partly, I have no idea what you're saying.
I love where this is going. Coach Mike texts in 780-218-9999. The Paris Jewelers inbox. Coach Mike says, the mid chalet sounds like something Tommy would take in an EST draft. Coach Mike, yeah, probably. I'll take the mid chalet. Lance says, your brother is sensitive. That's why he plays ball hockey. Totally, Lance.
I
Totally.
think there's a real connection there, man. Yeah.
Oh, God, I love this. Gold Medal Mark says, hey, guys, I'm playing entry-level hockey in my 40s. Gold Medal Mark, excellent.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm experiencing bro dudes playing down in the developmental league.
It's ridiculous.
Same as hardcore ball hockey peeps. Not fun. Please stop. Bro dudes, you're not special for dangling around someone just trying to skate backwards without falling down. Rant done. Gold Medal Mark. I appreciate Gold Medal Mark taking up hockey in his 40s. So that's cool. It's a fun sport. Skating is part of the beauty of the game. And yes, I mock ball hockey players.
And by the time you're 40, you should actually be able to afford it. So that's the thing.
Unless you want to afford a house in this country.
Exactly.
You know? You got to make a choice.
Yeah,
Am I going to learn to play
mortgage,
hockey, or am I going to
It
get a
is
house?
true. A
you
lot
know?
of people have mortgages coming due here. That men's league hockey might be taking a back seat here for a couple of years.
I'm texting my brother back. That was some grade A gold material he just provided us.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato, Tom Gazzola, Wil Fraser, Matt Iwanyk with you here. We're closing in on 6,000 YouTube subs. We are 35 away. So if you are watching this on YouTube and you've not subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk, can you please subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk? We won't make fun of you if you play ball hockey. Like, just give that.
Just make fun of my brother.
Just give us that subscription. We would love to get to 6,000 by the end of the month. And if you're watching on YouTube as well, hit that thumbs up button. Anyone watching or listening on TuneIn Radio, there's also a favorite button you can hit. And if you like that, we get a nice favorite, and that'd be great too. So we'd really appreciate.
I'm
that.
loving the TuneIn app.
Like a quarter of Tommy Gazzola's ex-girlfriends, if they subscribed, you'd be over that number.
Oh,
Yeah,
be
well,
massive.
they would all unsubscribe.
We'd be talking about 7,000.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd be closing in on the next goal right away. You know, so
Yeah, gotta tap those markets, as Gazzola likes to say.
Oh, boy.
add that into your chats when you go on like Tinder, all that.
Yeah.
Just quickly, like while you're talking, like, hey, by the way, can you just subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk?
No. The ones that already know, it's like, oh, okay, I got to stay away. It's not good.
The ones that already know.
That like watch and listen, it's like...
Do they subscribe or not?
Most of YouTube
I don't know.
is,
I hope
We'll just
so.
tell them to subscribe.
most
in
of
the
YouTube is
conversations,
just
have it.
future Tommy Gazzola ex-girlfriends. I would think that's half our audience.
No. My brother is actually on the
Like how you
defensive.
said our audience, by the way.
One of us. One of us. My brother is very defensive right now. I said, gold material you just provided us, so Iwanyk wants you to come on the show. And my brother's like, what material? I'm catching strays for no reason on shiz that's not even true.
Is that what your brother sounds like?
He wrote shiz. Kind of.
Like, is that... Dude,
He's
that's
whiny.
half your... If
He
that's
is
what
very
you
whiny.
sound like, that's
He's
a
quite
tough way to go through life.
So, okay, maybe he is actually working. He works for the province. And friends of his are texting him saying that we're making fun of him. So that does happen too. But
I don't know if those are friends.
he's catching strays for no
Why are they
reason
texting
on
us
shiz
defending him
that's
as
not
well?
even
Like,
true.
they're making fun
I
of
don't
you,
know if
bro.
those are
Yeah.
real friends, bud.
Yeah,
Like,
I think they love it. So whoever's listening, that's Paulie's friend, keep sending him texts and interrupting.
Paulie's
you.
friend.
Okay.
I don't
You
know
could
if you're
even-
being a friend.
You can even make things up when you're sending
You
them
know
to
how
him.
Yeah.
sensitive Paulie is. Stop
is.
texting him this abuse. Just let it exist in the
Send
void.
him a cat emoji to make him feel better. Yeah,
yeah.
something cute.
Like a hang in there.
Yeah, hang in there, or I love you. something like that to make sure he's okay for the rest of the day.
Does that work for him?
I think so. He's very
God
soft.
bless. If that works for you,
We
God
really
bless.
should. Will, we should get him in that fourth seat one day with you,
Yeah.
and he'll probably end up crying.
Oh, I don't want to make anyone cry, unless they're tears of joy.
Oh no, they're
Right, Matty?
tears of suffering.
Many a tear of joy that guy.
Oh, he's writing something else.
oh, no.
Yeah.
Will and I
Yeah.
have shared so many chats
Oh man,
that have just been wonderful.
all off the books.
One of my favorite, actually, though, I'm not going to get into any of it, but there was like, you'd been gone for, by the way, it was 6 years or something.
Yeah.
A couple weeks
The
ago.
anniversary.
Brett,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
But like, I hadn't talked to you in a few years.
Yeah.
And also I get this text randomly
yeah.
and it was, is this still Matawan's
Yeah.
number? And I was like, yep. And it's like, perfect. And then we went off.
yeah.
And we didn't, like, it wasn't like, how are you or how
No.
are they? No, we went off on one of our just
you were
regular
the only one I could
conversations.
talk to at that moment.
And we went for like multiple messages back and forth, and it was glorious. And then we didn't talk to each other again for another year.
no, I needed that release valve because
But yeah, like we didn't miss a
deep
beat.
down inside, I'm an awful person. Like deep down inside,
And you
I'm
get
an
it out
awful-
of me.
Yeah,
big time.
exactly. And
so yeah, no, I miss those a
every
lot
now
at
and then
12,
I
16.
need
And then
to-
yeah, that one was just like when I got that text, like, whoa, Will's texting me. And then that's where it went. Oh, that's not good.
Read it out loud.
Okay.
Paulie.
We've gotten to him.
Paulie.
We've cracked Paulie.
Come on.
He wrote, F you guys, I'm going to play ball hockey on the Bunny Hill. He's my brother.
Oh, poor Paulie.
We love you, Paulie.
Yes.
I don't
love
know
you.
you, Paulie, but I'm sure I will.
I think you would like
Yeah.
him. He's
don't you
he's
love
fun.
Although he's a snowboarder.
Yeah.
Oh,
And ball hockey player.
Yeah.
Avid ball hockeyer.
well, you can do it. Just don't take it seriously.
Yeah, no, he does.
Kind of like snowboarding. You can snowboard, but don't take it seriously. I can't read that. I'm old.
I know. Sorry, I'll blow it up to 48 font.
exactly.
Actually, those are sharp glasses. I really like those.
F you guys, I'm going to play ball hockey on the Bunny Hill, Paulie says.
Yeah.
That sounds about
I'll
right.
meet you at the mid chalet, bud.
And I'll see you guys at the main chalet afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
There'll be a few drinks in. It'll be glorious.
They got some decent. I gotta shut up about Marmot. It's terrible. Don't go there. Like, just
Well, it's the same as a certain meat store that Lieutenant Eric likes.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go to.
exactly.
And it's one
Like-
like he's talked about in the past, and they've actually expanded now recently. I'm like, that's cool, but also why? No,
Yeah.
Don't
if
give
you're
away the secret.
expanding, that means
Yeah.
people are really noticing this and catching on. And no, you don't want to go there. So it's you want to support, things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are certain things you're like, I just want that to be the hidden secret,
Yeah.
the hidden gem.
Right,
it's not.
right.
Yeah, Marmot
And
is
so-
not that hidden, but
But the mid chalet
it's
is.
still hidden enough that like people from down south don't come up. Thank God.
Big Maple Sports Card does have a question about Paulie.
Sure.
How seriously does Paulie take it? Are we talking
Ball hockey?
power blading practice and everything? But like when it comes to ball hockey, like what do you mean he takes it seriously?
Like they're hardcore. They love it. Like he sends
So
me
you should-
clips of him scoring goals because they have like a
Yeah, there's a video thing though. It's
yeah
I've
they have
never,
a stream of it, and he'd be like, "Look at this goal I scored."
shouldn't you be happy that
I'm very
they're having
happy for
fun
him. I'm
and
proud
they're
of
just
him.
enjoying themselves?
Yeah, he
This
gets a
is
pat
how
on the back.
seriously he takes it. He seriously goes to a thing they call National Ball Hockey
Yes.
Championships
Yeah.
and takes pride in it.
Yeah, he has a medal.
That's as serious as it gets, man.
But I would love that.
Of course you would.
Because here's the-
You're a sports pervert.
You get to go to a national championship. You get to go play somewhere. You get to leave a nice trip. Why not? You'd turn if Paulie invited you onto his team for a national championship.
No
you would turn
thank
him down.
Absolutely,
No chance.
in a heartbeat.
No chance.
Not a chance
You'd
I
be
would.
going in a heartbeat with
Nope.
him. If he said we're
The
national
au
championships
contraire.
in 3 weeks, we're heading out to Montreal.
First
Do you
of
want to
all-
come? You'd be like, absolutely.
The answer would be-
let me pack my
First
stuff.
of all,
No.
Paulie's team would kill to have Gazzola.
Yeah.
On
And so
one
I'm sure
bad
the
knee.
But he's
offer-
not going to show up for regular things. But if he's going to nationals, he'll go to nationals.
You
Not a
think?
chance.
Yeah, I don't
Not a
think so.
chance in hell.
Yeah. Where were nationals the last time that you knew of them?
He went. I think it was Newfoundland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't want to go to Newfoundland to go
that's
see
a
that
cheap
part of the
ticket.
country? It'd be lovely out there.
To go see that part of the
Yeah, it
country
should be a
and
tourist
learn about
Part
it.
to go
yes.
do that. You get to do both.
Yeah.
To play ball hockey there? No.
Yeah, to go get punched in the
Absolute-
face from a guy from northern Quebec? No,
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a good time.
exactly. Because we take ball
Well,
hockey seriously.
What you do is you punch him in the face first.
Oh, yeah, because that solves all the problems
always
in ball
works.
Well, if
hockey.
somebody's going to have punch in the face, it better be him and not you. That's all I'm trying
You
to
know
say.
what?
there.
If some guy wanted to fight me playing ball hockey, I'd be like, bro, we're playing ball hockey right now.
Yeah.
We're not cool.
Yeah.
Surveyor Brett's already tweeted, quote, "You take ball hockey seriously? That's cute." At Tom Gazzola.
I love how Surveyor Brett quotes the stuff we say on
and
EST.
it's like he adds it to this like thread.
I love it.
That just goes on. I don't know how many
Keep it
tweets
going,
are there,
Brett.
but it's just this massive thread of it. The very first tweet of the thread that I could see right now is from Dustin Nielsen. Quote, "Is the ocean worth it?" That was.
Is the ocean worth it?
Yeah, I don't know what it was about, but
My brother is on a tear right now.
Oh, poor Paulie. Come on, man.
Go
Go get a snack. Your blood sugar's low, bud.
Yeah.
Go get a snack.
Go get some fruit snacks.
Yeah.
He says, "I'm not hardcore, man. Everything you say is a lie, dog. It's my physical exercise."
Dog. How
can't-
old is your brother?
31. And he says,
That's
"You
too
can't
old to be
even
using
skate."
dog.
I think he's feeding into this right now. I think he's loving the attention. He says, "I can't even skate."
So how come he wasn't a hockey player?
He did play. He
Yeah.
did. I think he played until Bantam, and then just
Your
Passion
your
wasn't there.
star was too bright?
no. I don't know. Like he got into skateboarding and snowboarding and ball hockey
Jeez
and
Louise.
smoking dope and all that good
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Yeah.
Chasing girls.
Well, 31. It might be
Well, you
time
did
to
some of those
try
things.
some adult hobbies.
You can do that while playing hockey too. Yeah, adult hockey.
Pickleball.
Yeah, I mean he's my future pickleball teammate. So
and somehow you guys think that you guys are going to survive with each other, and when there's only two of you, and not
we
kill
have this
each other.
weird harmony. It's strange. He says
I
he's
don't
trying
see
to
it.
defend himself. Good luck. No, you're getting tortured.
If you're looking for any promotional products, be sure to check out The Hive Product Marketing. They're the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports. StockTimeProductMarketing.com is where you can check out their stuff. We've got our store orders in. Those will be coming out in the next few weeks, and we're just waiting for the last little bits of the Nasty Club stuff so I can get those to all the Nasty Club members. But yeah, if you or your company or your team is looking for any promotional products, be sure to check out The Hive Product Marketing. Well, you're a Bears fan. I quickly want to go here with you. This Bear team's on track to having the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Do they go quarterback or do they stick with Justin Fields?
Well, neither is what I would do if I was the
Really?
Bears. Yeah.
What, trade Justin Fields, load up other places, then draft offensive linemen or something?
Yeah, exactly. You begin to build the skeleton of a functional football team, and I
You don't think they did that a little bit with the picks, the big haul that they got for the number 1 last year?
they have
'Cause
tried.
They drafted an offensive line
Yeah.
out there. They have another 1 pick, I think, coming
Yeah.
this year from there.
They have tried, and they keep screwing it up. Like, they really need to just focus on fundamentals. And I would actually be looking to trade down from the number 1 pick.
I do like Justin Fields. I think he's good. I think
But
you put that team
you're
around
a
him, they're
fantasy
good.
football player.
Yeah, but
Right,
I'm
like-
not from the fantasy perspective. I know he is my legit fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, like-
but I think
I
give him a little more.
I
I think there's a winner there.
I think the age of prop bets and fantasy
absolutely.
football, I think it skews our vision of
yeah.
a player like that because he can go off for heroic type of totals. But I just don't think he's a winner, man. Like, he just is not one of those guys that leads a football team. And it might be harsh, but the proof is in the pudding. Like, he does not rally.
But he hasn't had that team really. Like he hasn't had that offensive line fully. Like a little
know.
more improved this year. I would like to see
I know,
him
but we-
have that offensive line in front of him
We
and then
have
go see what else.
seen leadership take terrible football teams and at least make them mediocre to good. And he doesn't improve them. In fact, they're the worst team in the league. So, there should be some sort of effect.
He was also hurt.
Yeah, but there should be some sort of effect from his presence, and you just don't see it.
My Arizona Cardinals would like to challenge that notion that they are the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray is someone who is not a leader,
Not only that, but
exceptional talent.
once they leave Soldier Field, I don't know if I'm going to stay a Bears fan, man, because are you really the Chicago Bears if you're not playing in Chicago? Like,
Jets
crazy.
Giants playing another state.
yeah.
But they always have. Well, I guess not always, but
still, like
for
that's
like 60 years.
I don't know, where you play is where you play. I don't know. It's still your team in a sense. Like Connor Halley followed the Chargers from San Diego to LA.
But okay,
That's his team.
Which must have broken his heart having grown up in San Diego.
Santiago.
Well, you didn't grow up in Chicago.
No, but my family's from Chicago.
But it's still in the area.
Like I said,
where they're wanting to build it, it's like Stony Plain. No,
your fandom should be cursed to you either by your parents or by geography, and it was cursed to me by my
and that's why I'm a Cougs
grandfather.
fan.
And my grandpa was a chain gang member of the Bears and stuff like that. So like there is a lineage there, and then if they leave Soldier Field, to me it's like you're ripping the heart out.
To clarify, go ahead.
No, finish.
I was going to say, to clarify, like for those that haven't been to New York City and go, well, they're playing in New Jersey. It's literally across a bridge and it's right there. And New York
And
is
there's a
so
subway
compact.
that is connected to it. Yeah.
It's like going from Sherwood Park to Spruce Grove, basically.
But that's like I don't want to see them leave Soldier Field because that's also just one of those stadiums of the NFL that's iconic. It's they play at Soldier Field.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they're trying to move it to. Like, would it not be like Stony Plain or something?
Yeah, it's the burbs.
Yeah, it's the burbs.
So it's still Chicago.
No, it is not.
No.
Soldier Field, and then for those that haven't been to Chicago, don't know, Soldier Field is literally right downtown, smack dab on the river or on the lake in the middle of Chicago. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Like even the White Sox play in Chicago.
Yes.
Like
South Chicago.
I mean,
South side, but
it
it's
is
Chicago
still Chicago.
proper.
Like you are still surrounded by it. I mean, Wrigley is its own world in itself. But
I remember flying over, Will.
Yeah.
And landing for a game, or there's
Midway?
Blackhawk. No, at O'Hare.
Okay.
And there was a White Sox game and a Cubs game happening, and we flew over both stadiums, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah.
It is unlike anything else. And you come in from the lake into O'Hare. It is super neat. It really is a gem.
Yeah. And
It's super dangerous if you go to some areas of Chicago, but
like any city,
any city, yes.
there is
Not all of it's dangerous,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember that, and I'm like, oh, baseball game, and I was just watching. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, actually, Wrigleyville is interesting because it's its own thing, and then the community around it is known as Boys Town, and it was the historically where gay men were able to live open and free, and it's one of those areas of town where you're like, this is the safest I've felt all week. It is all just well-dressed men and small dogs. Like, it is really charming to be out there. Like, it's like, you look at it and you're like, I think I know where I'd live in Chicago. If I had to move here, it would be right in and around this area because it's just all boutique bistros and bars and peaceful, quiet neighborhoods.
Oh, good point. I like downtown. I really like downtown Chicago.
Yeah, downtown's the place that Dusty got a little wild on a draft night, and you had to do a show by yourself.
Yeah, I remember that.
I might have been there that night.
Yeah, I remember that.
I might have been there. And by been
Bad
there,
influence.
Chicago's too much for a guy
he was
like
the one
Dusty.
influencing me.
Yeah.
We were all there. Schauger was there, Dave Parker, Jack Michaels.
Please tell me you guys went downstairs to the Billy Goat Tavern.
No, I've not been there. I've
You've
driven
never,
by
eh?
it. Yeah.
So if you're ever in Chicago, right along the river, there is the old Chicago Tribune building, which isn't the Chicago Tribune building anymore. Right. And right across the street, there is stairs that go down into basically freeway that they've built underneath the city.
Yep.
And there's a little place called the Billy Goat Tavern, which beer and a burger, it is the best place to grab a snack in the world.
We would always, the route to the arena, to United Center, would go right by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Cheeseburger.
That's right. See? He's seen it.
SNL.
If you ever traveled, you would see it too.
Been a while. I don't know. I was sitting in Arizona this year.
Arizona's not traveling.
I love Arizona. I could
So
go
do
move to
I.
Arizona.
Sure you could.
I could go live there.
Because you're 75 years old and you just want to play pickleball.
No, I want to golf.
It's a pickleball mecca.
I just want to go golf.
It's all being shut down for pickleball now.
Oh, then I'd be devastated. I would be crushed at that point. Glue Guy's in our inbox. He must not have been listening today.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in, Jay.
I appreciate
thanks for
it.
watching.
Whenever you have the time,
No, he
we
didn't. He
appreciate
could have
it.
watched a little earlier because this question kind of has already been answered.
You
But
are ungenerous. That's
forgive
what
me
you
if
are.
you've covered the topic already. We have. But what does Commissioner Fraser think the first draft topic will be under true new regime? So would you're not going to be commissioner. That's the answer, Jay.
Yeah, I'm not-
Will
not-
doesn't want it.
I don't want it.
Good luck finding someone.
Jeez.
Give it a week. He'll be crawling back to us.
Not a chance. Like, again, you guys don't understand where I am. And, like, you also don't understand how hard-headed I am, apparently.
I think you don't understand how well we all know you.
Yeah, I'm clearly don't know I'm hard-headed enough to be like, I'm not coming back.
Oh no, like yes, you will cause yourself harm just to be right.
I am right, but yes.
Yeah, but
I won't be back.
you will also find the loophole. Like that's who you are. I don't know what the loophole is going to be. Like that's if I say the loophole out loud, you won't let it be the loophole, but you will find a loophole.
I will make this statement very definitive.
Don't put yourself in a corner.
No, I'm not putting myself in a corner.
You're just making it more difficult for future Matt.
The next draft, I will not be commissioner of the very next draft.
Yeah.
I may be on it because I'll have to be the pregame host because I'm employed to be here at this time. So I will do that under protest.
Yeah.
But I will not be running the next Edmonton Sports Talk draft. It is how not happening.
Mr. Garrison got Mr. Hat.
Guaranteed.
Right in front of us.
It's not happening. I've just made it very clear.
I'm calling it right now. He will have a hand puppet who is the commissioner.
No.
Mr.
I won't be running it in any way, shape, or form. My hand won't be doing it. An alter ego won't be doing it. A puppet, no one will be doing it. I will not be involved as the commissioner in any way, shape, or form. So
ChatGPT is your commissioner from here on in.
Good luck setting that up.
This is too funny. My brother's really mad. He's sensitive.
Maybe Paulie wants to be the commissioner.
No, we don't want that.
You finished 4th again. You should maybe try to work on
I'm in a rut.
being better.
In a rut. You're just terrible at it, dude.
Well, I've got multiple rings.
Jimmy Fallon? My God.
What's wrong with Jimmy Fallon?
A lot.
Evidently.
We don't have the time to get into it, but a lot.
My issue with Jimmy Fallon is he laughs, he cracks too much.
That's your
breaks
issue with him? There's plenty of issues.
Some would say that's
him.
quite charming.
Occasionally it is.
Jimmy Fallon would say it's charming. That's about it.
Every sketch, it's annoying.
Yeah.
That's where I don't like Jimmy Fallon.
By the way, I didn't see it. What were the rules on the SNL draft?
The categories and stuff?
Best people when they were on SNL?
No, you're trying to build an episode. So you're trying to build your own episode of Saturday Night Live. And so the categories were...
Did anyone take the dark horse Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
No.
See, that's the dark horse.
But she wasn't good on SNL.
That's what
Neither was Ben Stiller.
This is what I'm saying. She wasn't good on SNL, but she was a cast member. And if you were to create a sketch now, she's an assassin.
So
she'd be great now.
they needed one host, one musical guest, 3 female cast members, 3 male cast members,
And
a
no
weekend
one took-
update host, a
quickly you
weekend
pulled that
update
up.
recurring character, because we just go on our Instagram or Twitter account. Cameo appearance, a recurring sketch, and a celebrity impersonation. If someone was taken, they could not
And did anyone take Larry David?
no.
No one took Larry David?
As Bernie Sanders?
As anything?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
And instead, they were upset about the rules because they wanted.
And you took Jimmy Fallon at 4.
See, what I love is that you've pulled out a couple of people that weren't taken.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure this out because they were all focused on Will Ferrell.
Did anyone
Chris Farley.
take Billy Crystal?
Nope.
No.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah.
I put in a couple of rules. You may not like them still. I don't care though. Where
rules
if
suck.
once a name goes off the board, you couldn't draft them in other spots.
Yeah.
So like if Will Ferrell was taking a cast member, you can't take Will Ferrell as George W. Bush in the
Right.
celebrity impression later.
Celebrity impression.
Because he's off the board. It's a draft. And they thought that it'd be limiting it too much and they wouldn't be able to find picks.
Crazy.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly. You've already nailed a couple.
Yeah.
And you don't even know what the draft was.
Yeah.
You haven't named the big ones. You've named some really good ones though on the side, and that's where all this frustration comes from.
Wow.
They couldn't figure that
Who's
stuff out.
frustrated?
You guys were all day.
No, not really.
The entire Friday.
Oh, we had
you
a great-
even said I'm getting more pissed off as the day
At
went
you.
on. You just kept getting more and more
Just
angry.
at you.
Yeah,
Like,
because
it
you were
was
getting
all-
pissed off. Even though, as
All
we're
of
pointing
this-
out, there was a lot of other characters you could have selected or cast members.
Sure, that's on me. But all of this sounds like a guy who's coming back as commissioner.
He's hungry for it.
Yeah,
Not a
absolutely.
chance. Nope.
Yeah, he's a glutton for
I
punishment.
forgot about the draft.
I am
to
gonna
be
go
honest.
focus.
He's a real pervert.
I am going to go focus on my other commissioner role and be the junior commissioner at its best. Make sure the league takes its next step forward.
That's not a thing, dude.
It is.
Like, it's not a thing.
Lucas Holt is the 4-time champion,
Exactly.
Eric should have won this year
Yeah.
but he didn't. You can't. Why should have he won?
because he had a great season.
Yeah, but he didn't win the
Even I
championship
know
game.
that.
But he didn't win the championship game, and that's what matters.
Yes.
So how's that BS? His team did produce in the championship game. That's not BS. That's his team didn't show up. Lucas's whole team, the San Antonio Texans showed up in championship weekend.
Heartbreak happens, yeah.
All I'm saying
they played well
Eric
all year, but on
is gonna win
championship
next
weekend,
year.
the San Antonio Texans showed up. And I hate the San Antonio Texans, but even I could admit that.
Eric's going to win in 2024.
It'd be the first time ever.
I can't wait. I'll celebrate with him.
Good. Man, this
At
is
Century Sports.
Pickleball of conversations right now.
You want in. You used to.
To the Dunya? Only to be a dink about it. Only to be the taco of that league.
The foil.
Go complete Raffy on all of it. Yeah.
Oh, my brother's very upset at me.
Oh,
You keep
Paulie, I'm
saying that.
so
Like,
sorry.
He's not changed.
He's written, look at all these texts he's sending me.
I am sorry.
No, Paul, you can't
We
double
didn't-
text people.
We didn't mean.
There's
That's a faux pas right there. You
We
don't double
didn't, we
text.
didn't
in a
mean to
row.
point out your bad decisions live
Yeah.
on air and make fun of them, even though
Don't
we
use
were
other
accurate.
people as your own material.
That's all we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like, I'll
that's
just say
the premise of this.
Well, it's like when you talk sports, we're talking about other people.
Yeah.
Like when we started talking about the Oilers at the start, that's just on the basis is about other
Buddy,
people.
hire a lawyer.
I haven't come at you, Paulie, but for that one, that's a poor
Paulie,
take.
hire a lawyer, get an injunction. You can remedy this situation.
Yeah.
But you've got to do the legwork
You know how
yourself.
else you could remedy it?
Yeah.
Remedy it.
Remedy.
There we go.
Yeah.
Figured it out.
Murray it. Yeah.
Murray.
I remember when the Oilers signed him in 06. It was just such a random
I was
signing.
so happy.
Right? And he wore number 22. It was strange.
Take a day off of work and
Right
join
in
the
the gym.
hangout.
Yeah.
Defend yourself.
Defend
The
yourself.
seat's open.
Yeah.
It's for you, Paulie.
You could be the Red
You
Murray
don't even
of
have to
this
text
show.
your brother. You can text me. And we'll make it work. So that's all you have to do, Paulie. Take a day off of work.
Yep.
I bet Rem Murray's killer at ball hockey.
No.
I think he's a better pickleball
I was going
player
to say
now.
pickleball.
Yeah.
That's going to be the sport, apparently, of the future.
It's the sport of the present, man.
No.
Ask him he's got former friends who were broadcasters for it.
Yeah. Michelle McMahon, she left the Stars
Do you want the
broadcast.
story of Tommy and her? Oh, they did an interview on 1260.
An interview, okay.
It was just over the air, and it was just flirt city.
Yeah.
So what?
Of course.
I know, but it was like
If
it
Tommy
was
and I
so-
were to do an interview, it would
I
be
know.
Flirt City.
Yeah.
it was incredible listening to on the way, and like multiple times.
He's
we're like,
the king
the
of
segments
flirting.
probably should be over, but
It's-
no, there was
it's
more.
what he
It was
does.
unbelievable.
She's a very vivacious woman. That's bubbly and fun.
Man,
And that's why he's going to get into pickleball with his brother.
absolutely. Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah.
We're going to wear short shorts, sleeves optional, and we'll be a mediocre team.
Like the high white
Well,
tennis shorts? Come on.
No, well, there'll be a little bit of length, like 5-inch inseam at least.
Surveyor Brett with a big question.
Hey, Brett.
What's better, Tommy's impersonation of Paulie or his mom?
Your mom for sure. Your
Oh,
mom
my
is
mom,
aces.
my mom would be like, "Why are you making fun of Paulie? Oh my, that's my baby."
Yeah.
And Paulie would be like,
Don't make fun of me.
What does your mom think
gotta
when you
say,
like pull up?
she
like,
gets mad.
Does she? When you make fun of Paulie?
When I make fun of Paulie,
Yes.
yeah.
No.
But when I do an impersonation of her, she loves it.
Yeah, no,
She
but
loves
like
it.
making fun of Paulie, like if she's watching right
Oh,
now,
she gets
she's
very
not
Do you
upset.
have a sibling that she wants you to make fun of?
No, because she'd be like, Mike, my brother Mike, our middle brother.
Yeah.
He's like the forgotten one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like don't
Hey,
ever besmirch
I'm a middle
him.
child as well, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the life of the middle child. You're the forgotten one.
Yeah, no, Mike gets a pass on this one. Paulie gets all the gusto, and my mom will probably be like, "Why did you make fun of him? You know he's sensitive." And I'd be like, "Oh my god, because it's fun.
Yeah.
It feels good.
He's so tiny.
Yeah, he's my baby."
Well, that's what brothers do in the end.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, scar each other for life.
That little
That's how you're
whiner is
supposed to.
probably
Yeah.
loving the attention right now. I text me again.
How much did your mom defend you from your
huge.
older brother?
Huge.
Like to this day?
Oh, I could get in trouble for doing nothing. I would just have to yell something like, "Mike, stop doing that." My mom would get mad at him, and like
Yeah.
we're not doing anything.
BS,
like
man.
and I would just do it for fun at times, just to like piss off my brother and get it. And it was just without question. I'd be like, "Mike, stop hitting me," and my mom would get mad at my brother, and my brother's like in a different room.
Yeah,
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great bringing your other brother and doing that
garbage.
stuff.
Yeah, see, my brother's a year and 5 days younger than me, so we were too close in age for my parents to ever have a rooting interest in either. I think they would just observe who was annoying them the most, and then they'd encourage the other person to go and pick on them.
You deal with
Yeah.
it.
I was the baby straight up. And like even like cousins and all that, I was the youngest. So like across the board, I'm the baby.
Are you like
Wow.
you're
I was the baby.
Iwanyk?
You exploited
yeah,
that.
both sides.
Clearly.
Now, is there an actual baby Iwanyk out there right now?
My brother has 2 kids.
Your brother? Oh,
Everyone has
How
kids.
girls?
I'm now.
how jealous did you get about the
They're-
I tell my parents that I'm not loved anymore.
His
They
nieces
know
are
that.
adorable,
Yeah.
by the way. Mike brought him in last week or 2 weeks ago. They're
few
the
weeks ago.
cutest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like my
they're so
Mila and
cute.
Hallie. Hello. I don't know if they're watching.
like my youngest nephew is the youngest, and my mom just adores him. Like there's
Well, my parents give
there's
into
never
the-
been a more charming child in the world for
So
my
they
mother.
live up to that hype.
Or
no.
listen, Kellen's a good kid. I really like
Okay,
Kellen,
okay.
but the amount of like love bombing that my mother does to that
Yeah.
child is intense.
Yeah, like when my mom gives my brother Paul love, I'm like, really him? That guy? Okay. I guess I'll go do my thing by myself.
You know he used to poop his pants, right?
Yes. We all did. My brother actually responded with this.
I don't care about being made fun of, but at least it should be accurate.
Okay, I'll say this, but Gabe, again, I'm trying to defend you, Paul,
Does
here,
he
but it's
really
a little
want
tough.
that though? Like, Paulie, do you really want us to make fun of the stuff that's real? Like,
The amount of
that
times
feels-
that you've
feels
texted
harsh.
Tommy just shows that this is really bothering you.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't bothering you,
should come on.
1 or 2 texts, that's it. But how many texts? Like, can you quickly count how many he's sent?
Yeah.
I
Like-
would never want my brother on a show like this pointing out my real flaws. I would only want him
15,
making fun of made up things.
18 texts.
In like
I've
half,
sent
like that's
3 back.
just
That's
that's not helping your case,
That's
Paul.
pretty needy,
That's not helping your
Paulie.
case. Also, Cozy, I'm going to assume.
Cozy.
He says, "Don't worry, Tommy. He only plays tier 9." LOL. So
Yes.
he plays tier 9.
I don't know.
Ball hockey?
It doesn't matter. It's ball hockey.
There's a nationals for tier 9.
Yeah, it's-
what?
I don't know. I have no idea.
you want to be there.
The world is broken.
You want to be there. That's what's going to save us.
Someone texted in and said, it's time for Paulie to grow up, start opening trading cards like an adult. Well played.
Oh, that's a big shot there. Do you do chart cards at all still? At all?
No, dude.
Okay, you're
I have
not of
children
that.
I need to soon send to college. Like,
If you get the right card, it could pay for their college.
no, dude, that's not how it works.
I saw you come in with your running gear. Going for a run?
Yeah, I've got to go for a run afterwards.
Stony or Spurs?
Out at Chicago. 9K. If anyone wants to join me, come on out. I'll be out there.
Tommy's coming.
No, I'll send Paulie out there. He needs to train for his ball hockey game.
It's true. The hills would help, but
So you got to run. Got to get the
Yeah.
cardio going.
you charge those hills, you'll get that heart
You'll
rate
be
up.
ready at
Great
the,
stuff.
for ball hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in as always.
Always a pleasure.
This was
It's always
fun.
great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this very much.
That's because you just got to make fun of your brother for
Yeah,
like
he's
30
like,
minutes.
It's annoying, man.
It's annoying. Oh, Paulie, you sound awful.
I can't wait for you to meet him now. That's gonna be a fun hangout.
Oh my God.
Coming up next, it is the Lock Shop. Dusty and Huss will get you set. They'll recap the NFL weekend. They'll recap the weekend in sports. They'll also get you set for the Monday Nighter and a really good NHL schedule tonight. We do
Yeah.
have an Edmonton Sports Talk parlay thrown up. Forgot to mention this a little bit earlier. My Mr. Lean pick of a Justin Fields interception, along with I think it's the Bruins -1.5. That's the EST Sports parlay for today. Yes, Boston Bruins -1.5. Justin Fields throwing an interception. It's plus 355. You can only get that at Cool Bet.
You are proving my point on Justin Fields, man. He is a stats darling, both good and bad.
Well, he has 6 interceptions, 7 games. That's it. I'm looking. There was money there. There's value there, Will.
I agree.
There's value.
I agree, but it
but
clouds
he
our
could go
judgment.
win. He could go win. Zach Claros threw interceptions. He was also a top quarterback in the CFL. I don't know what that was going there for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, that's a-
Lock Shop
that's a
coming up
tangent.
next. Dustin and Huss. And then at noon, Tommy is back. You will be with Dustin Nielsen as it is the oil stream. Obviously, recapping the big Oilers 8-2 win over the Ducks yesterday and looking ahead to the pivotal game when the Golden Knights roll through town tomorrow. That's all coming up here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com for those listening on TuneIn Radio, as well as those watching on YouTube. For YouTube, we'll also just transition transition you over. So just keep it locked. Just make sure autoplay is on, and we'll send you over to Lock Shop. For those listening to our audio stream, you'll hear house band Whale and the Wolf coming up next, and then we'll come out of that into the Lock Shop once the boys are ready to go. On behalf of Tom Gazzola, Wil Fraser, Matt Iwanyk, thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato. Caesar, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Lock Shop coming up next.